Okay, and here we are again. Oh, phooey, I didn't get the link. Uh, uh, phooey. Okay, there we are. Alright. Finally, that took way longer than intended. Woo! But, okay. Uh, this time we're actually gonna be in my depth level this time. We're in Paldea Dex, which is already a, So, we're finally in my depth level. We're in Paldea Dex now. So this should be a little better than the last one, hopefully. I might end up having to do one more stream after this. Because, it's late where I'm at. It's like 9. So, yeah, without further ado, I'm just gonna jump right into it. So we're gonna start with the defense division, and then we're gonna work our way up, skill division-wise. Starting with Samuel the Strong and his defense division team. We'll move to the general VC, why not? Okay. So we're gonna start with Samuel. Immediately I see Sneasler Rillaboom, which is honestly with Terra Sneasler, which is a fairly reliable core, all things considered. You've got this Sneasler Rillaboom Tinglu, Kyurem, Slowking, Comfy, Kilowattrel, Sandalor, Fortress Weird here. I think this is overall a solid team. Comfy is an excellent secondary Terra captain. I do not think I could see any I don't think there's a better secondary Terra captain out there for this one. Uh Normally, I like now me personally. I normally like Sneasler a little better when you pair it with Indeedee, but that might just be my VDC guy coming in. But it works a lot better here because then Comfy can be your secondary Terra captain. Comfy is it's. I mean, there's a reason it's really good. Uh, You also got Slowking, which can pivot out with chilly receptions and give Curum 100% accurate blizzards, which those hurt a lot. Um, I will say I don't. I will say there is a little bit of a speed gap from Sneasler to Comfy, and Comfy doesn't. I'm gonna be honest. Comfy doesn't necessarily count in terms of speed because because of its priority, it is going to be going first anyways. So realistically, that speed gap is more from Sneasler to Curum. It's generally kind of a slow team. Might have some issues going fast beyond Scarf and on Bird and Sneasler. I think I'm gonna give this one a C. I think just uh, in all honesty, I've got like this team has a lot of like threats, but also Chandelure hasn't been that great in the past in Paldea Dex. Their Kilowattrel isn't as good without like Terra and stuff. Fortress is kind of a subpar remover, and Weird Ear is just Weird Ear. So I'm gonna. Sorry if I go all in on this a little too much. If I over criticize your team, it is specifically a reflection of your team, not necessarily of you. Power rankings can be subjective, and I'm gonna try to move through these a little more quickly, but yeah, yeah, I am.
Ooh, uh,
Uh, Not much. Hello, Twigs. Let me turn you up real quick.
you're good.
We're doing power rankings right now, starting with defense and working our way up.
All right.
Uh, just finished Samuel the Strong, so now we're on to not a doc. Uh, so first thing I see about this team is Iron Valiant, Terra Necrozma. Those two are Pokemon that can be really difficult to prep for at times. Cause
I would love to build with this team. This looks so fun to build with.
yeah, that is one of those things. That is definitely one of those teams for sure. Or Iron Valiant is like one of Draft League's top Pokemon. On Necrozma just has so many different. Granted, most of those sets are setup sets, but it does have so many different sets it can run. Landorus Therian's just a classic. Uh, Heatran's very useful. Flashfire and Flame Body both. Hey, Hatster. Yes, it is brave, but uh, no. But also, Riz kind of said that people could join in we in VC, and the recaps recording VC is not public, so I yeah, we're doing it this way. Alomomola is actually a Pokemon that seems to have really popped off as of Gen 9. 9 in particular, between Flip Turn, Regenerate, and Wish. I don't think I've seen it ever be like as. I don't think it's ever really been used as much as it has in Gen 9, has it?
I don't think so. I think getting flip turn, I forget if it was last generation or this generation was really big, but people kind of realized how nice the fat wishes are and just being able to slow pivot through it. Um, it's done a really nice job of just allowing teammates to soak up, especially Necrozma, because you don't always want to run like Moonlight on that. And with like a Landorus and a Heatran, that's an awesome wish passer for those guys, especially with the Sylveon too, that you can run more offensively now.
Yeah, and the other Ogerpon Hearthflame is definitely an interesting choice. I personally think they put it way too low when they put it down to an 11. Like, yes, it
Yeah, that
can't
was very cheap.
it can't Terra, sure, but like it's still an Ogerpon. It's got like a great move pool and pretty good stats as well. Ironically
Yeah, it's
though,
a very good breaker.
this ability is probably never going to come into play in this scenario because you drafted one of the only flash fire Pokemon that it's useful for.
Exactly. The Heatran is like the major one. Yeah.
That one's just, that's just kind of funny. And I've used Skunk Tank
Yeah.
before. It's very interesting. And they actually looks like they bumped it up a point from last season, which is certainly interesting.
Does it still get knockoff in Gen 9?
Hey Bash, welcome to the stream. I think it gets off still. I think it got it back in the DLC, if I remember correctly.
I'll check that.
On it right now. Uh,
Yeah, it still does. So that's a good utility mon.
yeah, Toxic
You
Spikes.
want to.
I mean, I ran Boom the 1 week I brought it because it's the 1 week I had it on my team where I brought it, but
Oh, it actually lost defog, so that means that Noivern is your only source of hazard removal on this team. With an Ogre Pawn, that's a little scary, but you have two good Wish Passers, so
yeah, I think that is a little more negligible because of those Wish Passers. And another benefit to Alomomola as opposed to other Wish Passers is that Alomomola doesn't need to receive its own wish to heal, which is a problem that a lot of other wish passing Pokemon have.
yes, you don't need to do too much with it. You can keep it as a pivot some weeks if you just want it to be like AV. It's a cool concept, I think.
I'm gonna say this is probably this is probably an A tier team. I'd say maybe B.
Yeah.
Like
I like A so
it
far.
definitely looks fun to build with if nothing else. Oh, so like I would love to have this team. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, this looks really, really cool.
Next up, we got Lavs. This is. I'm sorry, this team is a monster. What the?
Yes. Yes, indeed.
You got so first off,
The
Dragapult, which is one of the best Pokemon in draft, generally speaking.
mhm.
You got Excadrill for like, which is decent hazard removal this generation, as well as you got some Stealth Rocks as well. Moldbreaker Earthquakes means only flying types block it, and you got the Terra and Amarant Incarnate round 3 defense.
That's so silly.
What are you doing?
And then this is like the stereotypical like Dragapult Sand team. I feel like somehow it always ends up on Sand, but then you add like an Urshifu Rapid Strike and an Avarice Incarnate on there, and that's just like so much breaking power for Excadrill to just clean late game.
Yeah, and you can't just like ignore it either. Like you can't ignore the
No.
Yuxi either. Like Yuxi can be a little passive, which is one of like its biggest weaknesses, but you still can't ignore it because it's still gonna be a nuisance with like knockoff, and it can sweep you if you are not careful because of the new move Mystical Power, which is one of my personal favorites.
Yes, I've run a lot on Mesprit, but Uxi's bulk lets it do that, and just throwing off Thunder Waves, it's a good rocker. Overall, I still like Uxie as a support mon. I think 11's a good price for it.
And then the Weezing's kind of interesting, honestly. I will say, besides the Excadrill, it is his only hazard removal, but I think that might be fine on this team because you've got two of the best Ghost Beat Eaters in the game in Tyranitar and Dragapults. Tyranitar specifically is
Cool.
one of the better ones, I think, or at least it used to be. I don't know if it still is.
It's still, you can't really pursue it anymore, but it's still like ghost types just really don't beat it, especially if you run like Choppleberry. But I've used Drill a couple times this in Gen 9, and it's actually been really, really satisfying to use. Like it can pretty consistently get it spin off because not much really spin blocks it.
Yeah, so I think this is an S tier team. I think.
Yeah.
The Chinchino's definitely the Chinchino's a pick that interests me. I have personally though, like I want to see that thing do something. For the longest time, it was still in UU in Gen 9, while things like Salamence and Hydreigon had fallen to RU, and I thought that was hilarious.
I will say you were going to force so many so you have to run protective pads on Urshifu Rapid Strike like pretty much every week because between Shinshino and
Either
Urshifu, people are going to be running Rocky helmets
yeah,
so often.
yeah, either protective pads or possibly punching glove.
Depending on what, yes.
All right. Next up, Tark. We got ourselves a little bit of a rain team going on here. I feel like it's a little reliant on rain, all things considered, but wait, didn't you? I feel like he already changed his team.
Did he? Have they gone through yet?
No. He has not changed his team. Never mind.
I think he changed it to this. Yeah. Yes, he did.
I don't love Rain in general, just because it feels like oftentimes a lot of Rain people, when they draft Rain, are trying to lock themselves into Rain, and they're like trying to bring Rain every week. And I think a lot of this team, quite a few members of this team, really, really need Rain to be at their best. Like, you got Zapdos, because otherwise you're going to be missing a lot of Hurricanes, it's most likely. Arcaludon really, really loves Rain. Palafin doesn't need it, but it certainly loves it. It like
Yes.
Basculegion absolutely does need Rain, though, I think. So you kind of just got
Um,
a fair few mons that kind of just need Rain to function. But you also, but then again,
he was, yeah.
but then again, he
Go
also
ahead,
reverse swept with the Quiver Dance Venomoth apparently. So
go ahead. I was in, I believe when it was when we were doing the GPL league, Tark, I believe it was either Tark or it was somebody else, but I'm pretty sure he drafted Rain in that as well, and I sniped his Pallet in round two, so he got very upset with me. So I know he's been wanting to use Rain for a while, and the only problem is, like you said, I don't really see a non-Rain mode on this. It's probably like the top five Mons plus like Cyclozar, which is a little bit of an odd team because you're kind of locked into that if you don't want to run rain. But it's a very potent rain mode, so it's gonna force some manual weather for sure.
yeah. Uh, I think though because it's so reliant on Rain, I don't think we can put it top tier because it's as reliant on Rain as it is. Like
I would
I
agree with that. It's probably like a B or C tier team.
Yeah, I'm gonna put Beast because we don't got anything there.
Yeah.
All right. Up next, Adamu. Uh, so Ogerpon Wellspring with Terra, Golden Go, Gliscor, Roaring Moon, Jolteon, Florges, Mew, Hitmonchan, Muk, Kamala, and Crocolore. This is a nutty team.
A little bit.
Their defense, what are you doing? Why are you letting people get such broken teams? Like, come on, man. Classic basements.
Round four, Roaring Moon.
Yeah. I mean, Roaring Moon went like undrafted in like several divisions last season, so it's not like that surprising, all things considered. I mean, there's a reason people have been calling it Roaring Mid. So like, and no, I did not make that
Yeah,
up.
but this no, that is definitely a thing. But look at this hazard stack core with like you got Gliscor, you have Mew, which is kind of a hazard bot this generation. You have T-Spike support with a Golden Go. That just looks like so annoying to prep for.
Yeah. You now you don't have any. You don't really have any reliable removal. Your removal is Kamala, and that is not going to be coming to most games, most likely.
Yeah, that and Hitmonchan, which are pretty niche.
I mean, to be fair, I was able to bring Hitmonchan a fair few games last season, but also, but also those are like one season things usually.
Yeah.
Like, you do have two spinners, but they most likely aren't coming to most of your games. Like, some combination of the top seven are most likely what's going to be coming to like 90% of games. Maybe closer to like 80 or 70 or something, but
Yeah, it wants to be. It looks like it wants to be like sort of a balanced slash like bulky offense team, but then you're not giving yourself the like options to hazard remove. You don't really have a magic bouncer either, so you're basically going to have to trade hazards with people, and you just have to live with that, like everything taking max spikes damage every time it switches in.
yeah. To be fair, his most bulky Pokemon, Gliscor, is not affected by spikes, and Florges doesn't really mind running boots if necessary, to be fair.
Correct.
But like it's still not like great to have yourself locked into boots.
especially with Ogerpon being your like central mon, that thing really doesn't like toxic spikes, and it also really doesn't like just having to switch in on hazards consistently,
And that's the other thing. Your grounded poison type is Muck.
which is fine, but I don't think it's something that you want to bring every week.
Yeah, that's the big thing I'm getting at here.
Hmm.
Here, like it's definitely a terrifying team, and I would not want to prep for this. This like Ogerpon Wellspring is a threat and a half. That thing has O code resists with Terra Water IV Cudgel. That is a
Hmm.
uh
Even without Terra, it finds a way to drop things. It's so scary, especially with the high critical hit rate. But where do you think of this should go?
I'm thinking like low A, high B because just
That's
because it's
exactly what
so
I was thinking.
reliant on
Yeah,
those top 7 and to do
yes, but it's a
most of the
great top seven.
things.
Um, Here, who do we have in A?
Not a doc.
I think this is like it's similar. I think it should go below Notadoc, but in that tier still.
Okay, yeah. People in the Discord are calling me
Where do you
crazy
like
for
him in B?
asking to be streamed for 10 hours. And I'm like, bro, I used to stream like this up. I didn't stream for this long, but I used to live stream like on Twitch pretty regularly, so I'm used to it.
Yeah, you're doing these back-to-back nights.
I mean, I don't. I'm leaving vacation fairly soon, so I don't have like a lot of time to do this. So I better move on.
Yeah,
uh, next up we got Hatster. This is our first Terra Blaziken of the group.
yeah. The first of many.
Yeah, like first off, why did they unban this thing? Um, this is ridiculous. I have done several mocks for with this thing, and there has been at least one mock every time where Blaziken just ends up sweeping.
It finds a way. It's just such a consistent mon, and being able to take a couple kills each game, especially with Terra.
Yeah, and then you got Latios, which is one of the premier special breakers, I would say, this generation.
I would agree with that. Yeah, with Luster Purge especially, it just can beat certain mons.
And then Psyshock also allows it to break through a lot of the more specially defensive ones. On Dashing brought that against my Florges in SDL last season. So, it definitely has its ways of even breaking through some physical mons as well.
Hmm.
Oh, you got King Gambit, King Gambit, you are the reason that a lot of people call Gen 9 unfun. Like, come on, man.
On ladder, especially. This one can't Terra, but I have used it recently with a Hisuiu and Zoroark, and it just won me a different league. You can be so creative with mind games, especially with King Gambit and Zoroark just alone. You can run SD Zoroark, and people never think that you're going to run SD Zoroark, but you can still Poltergeist and low kick and stuff. It's such a scary combo.
Yeah. And Hisui and Zoroark. Like, this team is going. It's not easy to prep for, and it's probably less fun to play against.
Yes, yes.
Because,
Especially with the Mammoth spine too.
yeah, like, Terra Blaziken, King Gambit, and Hisui and Zoroark are 3 Pokemon that are not fun to face, like, ever. Like, I don't think I've. And I drafted 2 of those, so, spoiler.
Yeah. Jirachi is also a really good support mon. I've liked using it because you can run it Fizz Defs or Special Defensive, and it gives you a Wish Passer for the rest of this team. And then Tentacruel is also an awesome support mon. That thing is just like a bundle of you. It's somewhat consistent spinner. I like running it pretty fast, and that's your T spikes as well, which is very consistent T spikes.
Yeah, I've wanted to try Jirachi for a while. The problem is a lot of draft boards just make it so expensive.
But 13 is that's somewhat reasonable. I know we only had 110, but I've seen it upwards of like 15 before, and I wouldn't touch it for that price. 13 is pretty reasonable though.
I will say, Veil on this team is a little interesting.
That's even I just noticed that. That's so much worse. I don't want to base this.
Good thing you don't have to.
Correct.
Like this might be an S tier team. Like there's like the only like questionable Pokemon on this team I think is the Naked Rotom, but
Yeah, it's very frail. Even with Terra, it still drops the stuff. Like any banded hit, it will not take at all, even if it's like somewhat resistant.
yeah, that is like the only questionable Pokemon on this team. The rest of this is just like it is just insane.
Yeah, you're running like a bulky offense or HO every week, but it should be able to trade with the things it needs to and force like key KOs, and you have a King Gambit in the back. So like
Yeah, where there's a King Gambit, there is usually a way.
13-point King Gambit also just feels crazy. I know the Terra one's 21, but 13-point King Gambit, oh, that's such good value.
That is, yeah. Now the downside is that you have a steel type that doesn't resist fairy, but then you also drafted a secondary steel type in Jirachi, which pretty much makes up for it. It does make you a little ground weak, all things considered. But
Yeah, like especially against that Sand Drill team, that might be a little bit of a difficult matchup. Um,
I still think it's an S tier
or
team.
yeah, I would say so. This is the best one we've seen so far.
Better than Lobs.
Yeah, just by a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Or do you think so? I think maybe, or I actually Lobs is a little bit more. I don't know. I think it's your preference. Do you like do you like
We'll put
the?
Haster above Lobs.
Okay, okay.
Next up we got Fernonk. Spectrier, Terra Iron Boulder, Iron Hands, Terra Shaman, Overquill, Empoleon, Moltres, Tatsugiri, and Klefki. Um, this is definitely intriguing and very. This team looks like it needs a Pincurchin.
Yes, between that and the hands and the boulder, that would be a cool little addition. But the first thing I
Pincurchin's
noticed
never
is
worth
it's a
it
really
though.
fast team. No, it's very fast, at least at the top tier. You have your top tier speed. Um,
Iron Boulders and
you're
Spectrier
forcing,
are two of the fastest Pokemon that are available.
yeah, especially with Iron Boulder running booster most weeks.
I have to face that thing this week. Not in this division, but
And this makes you sad to have to prep for because it's like, what's running the resist berry? How do I bait this? And now it's going to be a water type.
yeah. Uh, Iron Hands is another. It's one of the goats. Like I don't think
Yes.
I have seen an Iron Hands come to a battle and not contribute something. And
It
like
takes like 90% from another Pokemon minimum. It will force a KO at the very worst.
yeah, you either force a KO or you take something in down low enough that it's basically out of the battle.
Correct.
Well, and and you can either run Swords Dance or Assault Vests, and it's going to put in work. Like you don't even need.
All that just beats berries. It's so weird because you can just heavy slam it, and most of the time, like at an Amorous, it just drops immediately. Like so many of these fairies do not have the physical bulk to deal with this thing.
Which is absolutely insane. Like a fairy should beat this, but realistically, the only
Hmm.
fairies that are beating this are like some physical fairies if they get a play rough attack drop,
Correct.
or the rare heavy fairy, but those don't really exist.
Yeah.
uh,
Have you ever seen Terra Shaman before?
no, I have seen Shaman, never with Terra, but I know what Shaman. But I do know roughly what Shaman does. Usually, Leech Seed is like one of the things that it has. It has some decent coverage as well. Seed Flare is one of
A
the.
move.
It's yes, yes. It is
It
busted. It's a
it will
busted.
upset somebody in the battle.
Yeah. At least it's not. Hey, it could be worse. We could have Shaman Sky running around.
Running around with air slash flinches.
It forced a lot of covert cloaks. Let's just say that.
I was about to say.
Uh,
And then what do you think of the defensive core there at the bottom with the Empoleon Moltres? Have you used a lot of these?
Actually, yeah, I have. Well, not a lot of these. I've used Overquill and Empoleon, and on, and oh, and I have seen Moltres used a fair bit.
It
Uh,
is missing some of its tools, but it's still pretty consistent. It keeps Scorching Sands, and I believe it also gets Flamethrower. That's pretty good neutral coverage. It's hard to switch into.
yeah, the only sad thing is that you lost Defog, and you're locked into
And
boots
Toxic.
basically every week, especially on this team when your hazard removal is a Tatsugiri.
And Empoleon. Empoleon kept defog, didn't it?
No, it did not.
Oh, that's so sad.
It is.
Okay, that makes me look at this team a little bit worse because now it kind of looks like hazard food.
Yeah, it does, and also your two faster Pokemon on your next fastest Pokemon from Iron Boulder is Shaman, and there is a fairly big speed gap between there, and usually you want something like base 108 or 110 or something like that in there. Or
Yeah, to make
just
like the 110s have to um run their max speed. So
I agree. If Empoleon had Defog, it'd probably be like the best budget steal, or just like one of the best steals and bulky waters on the board. But sadly, Defog Empoleon is no more.
oh, so sad.
Very sad. Imagine if it had
What
Defog
were you
and
thinking for this one?
Roost.
I know, national Dex players.
Uh, I'm thinking like B, honestly.
Yeah.
Like it's got a lot of
I
threats, but you're really struggling to remove hazards.
feel like we've said that a lot. Where's the Great Tusk team?
knowing, uh, knowing defense, probably not to the wheel.
Yeah.
Up next, Big Faulty. First off, that is a round 6 Chi-Yu.
That's the first thing that popped to me as well.
Like, who let Chi-Yu fall to round 6?
The team is so dirty. Oh my god, look at the mini hail room like mode you have too with locating Baxcalibur and even Alolan Sandslash, which is a pretty cool mon under with Slush Rush.
And you've got a fair bit of removal on here, too. You've got 3 different forms, but Rapid's been on Bramble, on Slash, and Defog on Galarian Weezing.
Yes, and you can bring all those. I actually think Bramblegast is pretty underrated. It's fun to use because it's actually pretty hard to switch into most weeks.
Yeah. Uh, Terra Torrenti is annoying. I have played against that. It is very annoying. Like, Regenerator already makes it practically unkillable, like, half the time.
Yes.
And then, like, you got nasty plot sets as well, assuming you're confident you can land your moves. And you'll probably miss anyway.
I just played against it week 1 and I basically got bailed out off of Bleak Wind Miss. Without it, I probably would have gotten swept, and my Serena ended up killing it with triple axle. But it's so good. It still does all the annoying torn stuff.
The only thing it lost this gen is Defog, which I think it specifically can live without.
Yeah,
Would it be nice to have? Absolutely. But Torn specifically can live without it. Like that thing was
yeah, you're not starved
that thing
from
was
removal.
borderline immortal before heavy duty boots.
Yeah, correct. To the point where it got banned in National Dex last generation, I'm pretty sure, because it was so
Dang.
annoying.
Uh
But yeah, I really like this team. I've used Keldeo too. It's the addition of Vacuum Wave actually really helps it in some matchups where it can't get pressured out by some stuff like Miascarada and like I've even seen Weavile to an extent, just being annoying where it can after you knock it off and once it gets really low, you can still force it out.
yeah. I will say I've often found Keldeo hard to fit on teams, but that's just more of a trait of Keldeo than of this team.
Yeah, I like doubling up with a different water, but even then you still have really good pivots for this, so
And Keldeo's a decent pivot itself with Flip Turn.
yeah.
The Rhyperior is an interesting pick, though, I will say. Like, that could be scary if, like, the Galarian Slowking decides to run a Trick Room set.
Yeah, Smoking really just brings us all together. I will say Rhyperior is the only rocker to my knowledge.
I
But you
believe
have Brambleghast
Brambleghast gets
and Spikes.
spikes,
Yeah,
and I think Sandslash also gets rocks.
let me check that one. But yeah, so you're not really gonna look at too much hazard pressure, but it's still I still like the offensive core of it because you have a Chiyu.
Yeah. Chiyu is basically the I'm going to hit you, just. Ooh. It's basically the come in, alright, what am I killing? Kind of Pokemon.
Yes. Also, it turns out that Sandslash also gets spikes, so you have hazard options. You're not really if you want to fit them, you can pretty easily.
Yeah. I'd say this is like A at the very least.
Yeah, I'd say yeah. This looks like a very high A tier team.
That is the speed.
This like yes, I would say this is like the cutoff for S. This is like the guard or the guard dog for it.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's called the Vanguard.
Yes, 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 yes.
Alright, moving on. Terminal. Now, this is a very interesting team. So I actually have a little bit of kind of insight. Initially, when he was drafting, he didn't realize that the Terra rules this season had changed from last season.
Hmm.
His initial plan was to get Terra Greninja and Terra Ogerpon Teal, but that's why he
Okay, that makes
drafted
more
them,
sense.
and he drafted all three of them before he realized the Terra rules were different.
Yes, I forgot they were different too until like midway through the draft. I got scared and I think I was gonna make my second Terra Captain Golden go, but I realized I couldn't do that anymore.
Yeah. Uh, Greninja, a really great Pokemon. Like, that thing has been terrorizing draft leagues since it was only allowed to use Torrent in Gen 6 and 7.
Correct.
And it's unironically better this generation in draft than it was ever before, because it's actually allowed to use those abilities now. Oh, Protean and
Yeah.
Battle Bond. Iron Shreds is one of like the best removal Pokemon that is in Scarlet and Violet. You got nice
Hmm.
pivoting moves as well in Volt Switch. Ogerpon Teal is again, we know why he drafted it, but but it still has a niche. It's an Ogerpon form, and it has with the usual spikes, and it is the only Ogerpon that can actually run an item, which is certainly going to be fun to
Choice
work
Band
with.
is really fun from what I've heard on it, but it can run Encore. It's really annoying. I'd say it's the most annoying Ogerpon to deal with because it's probably the most supportive because of its move pool, but it still makes it work pretty well.
And Swampert is it's a ground I've been very high on in like speed tours and stuff, just because it's one of those bulky waters and grounds and rockers and stuff that I really love. Flip turn, knockoff, EQ. The only thing that you wish you had this generation is honestly Scald and maybe a better ability. Oh my goodness, steering is coming to shit on my PRs again.
Hello there.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay, interesting.
How art thou? I'm saying, how art thou?
Uh, all right. We're doing the power rankings
Oh,
stream for Deoxys right now.
lol. That's fun. Have fun with that.
All right. That was intriguing.
Odd.
Normally,
There we
normally
go.
when he's in call, normally when I'm in call with him, the man is a little more weird. But anyway, back to the team. Hisuian Arcanine is a breaker that I've really been wanting to try.
It's very fun. I used Terra last season, but even without Terra, most weeks Head Smash and Flare Blitz. Most teams do not have a switch in for that.
Yeah,
It can clean late game with Choice Scarf.
and or with Choice Band Extreme Speed even.
Hmm.
And like if for the really bulky teams in particular, or they really struggle to switch into this. Head Smash and Flare Blitz are just such high powered moves. And
Yeah, they
like,
put on a ton of pressure. Without like a Great Tusk, you're not switch or a Garchomp, you're not switching into this thing easily.
yeah, Enamorous Therian is also one of the sneaky good lower tier fairies, I think, because
Mhm.
like you got very strong breaking potential out of it. It was like Calm Mind, and then we saw there was an event last season where an Enamorous caused a man to forfeit before a Pokemon had even been taken out.
Yes. Oh yes.
That was a fun one from Thomas right there. Eric Dragalge is a Pokemon is another like one of those bulky pivot Pokemon that I personally love because it's like now it is a poison that doesn't resist fairy, which can be a problem. But I think you've got enough fairy resist on this team that you're probably fine.
Yeah, Dragalge's fun. Especially it kept flip turn, right?
Yeah, it did.
Which gives it another way to pivot. And T spikes, like it can be really annoying to switch into
The
depending on your
problem that
team.
I've had with Dragalge is I often, when I had it last season, I often struggled to fit toxic spikes onto it.
Yes, you want to run so many coverage moves and flip turn.
Yeah, it is one of those. It's one of those Pokemon that is kind of strapped for move slots at times. It has 4 move slot
I wrote
syndrome, as in it has too many good moves to fit into 4
I was about to say it has too many good moves and not enough like
slots.
they can't
Sorry, it
combine
has
them all
four
into
move
like one
slot
slot.
syndrome.
Correct.
That they're different.
Yeah, if you only could fit like flamethrower instead of having to rely on focus blast or like that kind of thing, but it can normally make it work depending on the matchup. Depends on what you want it to do.
Yeah, Rotom Heat is also one of the. It's a Rotom form, so it's just gonna do your typical Rotom things, where it's like just bulky pivot. It's gonna be annoying with Will-O-Wisp and stuff. This one just has
P-Wave
Overheat.
and yeah, it didn't keep defog, but still it got pain split back during the DLC, so that's pretty nice for it.
Yeah. Now this team does. It doesn't have any. Well, no, wait. What am I saying? Doesn't have any house removal. It has one of the best rapid spinners.
But it only has that, and then it doesn't have a wish passer, which
I
with
get
all this
unless you.
fat, like
Well, there is more removal if you count Defog Smeargle.
defog, it doesn't get mortal spin, right?
It gets every move in the game. It's a Smeargle. It's
Oh wait,
sketch.
yes, that's right. It doesn't get revival blessing. That was the one that it doesn't, but
It also lost Transform this generation.
oh, tragic.
Mid generation actually. Fun fact. It was they took Transform away from Smeargle mid generation to fix a duplication glitch that they had in the game.
Oh, okay. I see you, Pokemon Company.
Yeah. Overall, this team is a monster.
I like it. It's very fat. It will have the bulk that you want most weeks. The only thing is, like you said, Tread is your only removal. It's a good remover, but you are going to run Rapid Spin on it every week, and that stops you from running like some of the cool Iron Defense or like I don't know, like choice specs and like some niche matchups. But overall I
I've
like
seen
it.
that choice spec sets. Those are crazy people.
Got to get those Corviknights with those Thunders.
Jeez. I'd say this is probably A tier, I think, or maybe B.
Yeah.
High B or low A? Do you think? Depend.
Ooh, I think I say high B just because I really wish there was a Wish Passer on this team, just
Yeah, this
to
team
like
could
kind of
really
glue everything
benefit from
together.
one of those for sure. Or like a lot of this bulk on his team is like it's not.
It's not reliable recovery.
Yeah, which is like Sinisha is the only one on is the only bulky Pokemon on that team that has reliable recovery,
Hmm.
which is not something you would like on a team like this. Now Smeargle is annoying. I will say I have seen some I've seen some very annoying Smeargle sets. I've also seen some very scary sweeping Smeargles.
Yes, you can be very creative with that mon, but um, most of the time you can just use it as a hazard machine too, though. So yeah, I like B tier for this team.
Alright. Next up, LS. Oh my gosh. So much damage. And so much passive
Yes.
damage. It,
Where to start with this? Probably the Terror Raging Bolt.
yeah. Uh, their Terror Raging Bolt is going to do insane amounts of damage. Like, that thing. That thing is it's a beast. People are calling it the Special King Gambit.
It does have a way of winning late game with those thunderclaps.
Yeah. Like, I don't think I've seen it ever. Raging Bolt is one of those Pokemon that you slap it on it, like any team, and the team is usually better for it. And
Yeah,
like,
the only thing it really loses to is like drill and treads, and with those you have Terra now, so you're not really that worried about that matchup anymore.
also Hisuian Samurott Pecharunt, that is just evil.
I know. I love some. I've seen such cool Hisuian Samurott sets. I think it actually is worthy of being like a round two mon.
Oh, me
You
too.
can have Scarf or an Assault Vest.
I drafted it semi round one last time.
Hmm.
I was back wheels, so I figured I might as well grab it.
Yeah, it's a very fun mon to use.
It is. It after using it though, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to go back to just plain old spikes. That
No, just getting this at them up
like
like
I'm addicted.
automatically.
I'm addicted. This is gonna turn me into
Just
Orn
starts at covered.
Latios.
Oh, Warren. Then you have Petarant, which I actually think is super good for a 12-point price point. Some people are saying that this thing is so annoying it should be in like 14 or 15. I'm
It's
not quite
annoying.
that far, but I think that
It's definite. I definitely don't think it's like 13, 14. It is annoying. I will give them that. Like you, it is also. Uh, After working with Frosty Random a lot, he loves that thing and he drafted it recently. Pecharunt, from what I can tell, it's one of the better spin blockers in the game. Like,
yeah, I would say so. It loses to a couple grounds, but besides that, it basically stuffs everything else.
I mean, even most rounds, this guy could shrug off several earthquakes.
That's true. You got a max attack invest if you want any chance of 2-hit KOing it.
Yeah. Or like it forces special on some mods that would not want to run special normally.
Correct. Such as Iron Treads, like we were talking about.
Yeah. Uh,
Then you have the two pillars of low tier speed. You got Talonflame at the it's 126.
Talonflame doesn't count. It's
levels
priority
and
Gale Wings.
correct. You get the priority Defog, priority Brave Bird. I like it against rain, so
The Smogon Bird
watch out
himself.
for that part. Yes.
And
And
you
then
also,
Lycanroc Dusk is also really cool.
it's like one of the best rockers. Sorry, not rockers. It's one of the best like lower tier breakers. Well, mid tier, I
Hmm.
guess. But it's a really great breaker. Like you got and late game cleaner as well with priority Accelerock. It's which can do insane damage, and they gave this thing Swords Dance.
Yeah, it's just so scary to deal with. Sash lead somehow got even better if you put something passive in front of it to try to just spin it. And like you said, priority Accelerock is just so good at cleaning late game because rock is probably the type next to ice that you'd want to have priority for.
Yeah, like Rock is one of like the better offensive types. The problem is it doesn't get to use it very often because most rock types are too bulky,
Hmm.
or they, and most of them don't get a priority move either because Accelerock is for some reason a signature move.
Yes, which is so sad.
Like they gave a lot of other Pokemon, they took away signature moves from a lot of other Pokemon and gave them to others. Like, why not get more rocks like Rock? Come on, Game Freak.
I want my T-Tar to go fast. Come on, please.
Yeah. The Glorion's also a really fun one on this team. Well, not. I don't know if
Yeah,
that
it
actually
rounds out
fits.
the pack core.
It does. It does. Like Wish passing to like Pecharunt or Raging Bolts. Like Raging Bolt specifically really enjoys that Wish.
Mm-hmm. Bronzong kind of there to like help switch into some ground types, which before that you were kind of Edgequake weak, but with Bronzong you get another reliable hazard setter, and it still has some tools. Like it has to be a little more offensive than it has in gens past, but you have like Snorlax, which just gets to sit on a bunch of teams, and then Toedscool, which is like similar to Tentacruel, but a little worse, where it's like a super utility mon, and then you have a webs option. So
It's a
all these are really,
little.
really cool.
It is a little worse at utility because all of its status moves are always going to move last, which can be an issue.
Correct. The only, but it's not even a good thing, but you can kind of hide its speed tier by doing some of that. But um, generally, if it didn't have that ability, it would be so much better.
Honestly, though, personally, I like a slow spore better than a fast spore because then I guarantee they're going to be sleeping for a turn after I sleep them. Whereas if I fast spore, they might just wake up instantly. So
Yes, I wish it differentiated from like Spore and like Spikes, because those are two very different kind of moves. I guess you could do it on Magic Bouncers, but eh.
yeah, I this is a very like bulky offense. I would say this is a lot
Yeah.
less. This is gonna force heavy duty boots on a lot of Pokemon, and Pecharon is gonna make people want to run on Lumberries and then probably regret their life choices.
Yeah, this team looks annoying to play and like very fun to build with. So, what are you thinking for this one?
Um, I don't know. This one's kind of stumping me. Like maybe
I like the Bolt. I like the Samurott. I feel like it's a very evenly spread like point budget for the rest of the Mons. So it like I don't think it's S, and it's either probably this feels like a middle of B team, like B team, high B team. Like
I can live with
it
that.
looks fun to use, but yeah, but I don't know if it's as good as or as like brainless as something uh like Hatsters or Faulty, where you can just auto win each week with
I,
certain matchups.
I'd hardly call Blaziken an auto win. It does have to. It does sometimes struggle to get free turns in certain matchups.
That is true.
Urshifu. Would you say better or worse than Fernock? Or better or worse than
Hmm.
Tark?
And Tark, I would say this is a little bit better than Tark, just because it's not super reliant on one mode.
Yeah. Alright. I've got to go do something real quick. While I'm gone, you feel free to talk to the stream about Fedora's team.
Okay, I can do that. I will not be able to rank it, but that is okay. Um, let's see here. So Fedora's team, we have Great Tusk, Darkrai, Primarina, Corviknight, Gengar, Salamence, Rotom, Kleavor, and Duosion. This looks like a super fun team to build with as well. This seems like one that I would be really comfortable using something like this. The Great Tusk, so we finally get to see the hazard removal with the Great Tusk and Corviknight. This team should not have any trouble getting hazards off through a majority of the season. Tusk forces some like weird balloons that you have to plan around, but besides that, it's really good. Darkrai with its speed tier and its ability to set up and do stuff with Blunder Policy, Hypnosis, and Nasty Plot, and I've seen some creative sets with it. I think it's still really good, and I think that it going round two, I think it should be like a little bit closer to that round 1-2 wheel. So I think that paired with a Great Tusk sounds really, really fun to use. You have Primarina, which I think is one of the most underrated draft bonds. It can do so much. You can run defensive, you can run AV, you can run offensive with specs. I've seen Choice Scarf take like very surprising kills. It's so good. Draining Kiss was just like the perfect tool to get to this thing, and now it's just kind of a menace. Like I think it is worthy of going round 3. Corviknight just kind of is glue to get some slow U-turns out for Darkrai and Great Tusk and let them break. Gengar is another good breaker. I think for 10 points, that's a really good price for it. In other formats, I've seen it go as high as like 12 or 13. So I think that's like the ideal price. And then Terra Salamence. Ooh, Sage got to show off how cool this thing can be last season in attack. And typically, you can tailor make it for each matchup. You can be bulky with Intimidate. You can snowball faster with Moxie, and then the Terra Blasting, getting the exact coverage you want is like absolutely awesome. I'd say this thing forces the most mock drafts, or sorry, the most like mock battles every single season. It's absolutely amazing. Rotom, I'd say it's a little bit worse than Rotom Heat, but it for this team it's glue. Like I said, another pivot option, which so far you really only had Corviknight. So and then Cleavor setting up the manual or the non-manual hazard, just like Samurott. It's definitely worse than Samurott, and I've never actually seen Terra Cleavor before, so I'm kind of excited to see what that looks like. But Choice Scarf sets are really good. You know, you can do SD, you can do Cleavor is just kind of a really, really nice utility mon where combined with a Great Tusk and like a Darkrai, getting these hazards up really soon and forcing opponents to have to switch around. And it's I think it's cool with this core because um it also has that like mid-tier speed that you were lacking, because right now you kind of go from like Great Tusk and Rotom, which are closer to, or I guess it's similar. The speed tiers aren't fantastic. It goes from Darkrai to Gengar to Mence. So Darkrai's your fastest, but that's honestly kind of enough. This just looks like a really, really solidly built team. Because just looking at it, you have so many, maybe not so many, but you have 2 good hazard setters. You don't have spikes, which is the only bad thing. But you have so many options to set up and win. I've seen bulk up Great Tusk used to great effect. I've seen um, Nasty Plot sub Darkrai. I've seen like Primarina get the Calm Mind sweep people. Corviknight can run the bulk up sets with Power Trip. Gengar can clean up late game and break with Nasty Plot. Mence is just a setup threat in itself. Like every single mod on this team has an option to set up and try to either break you or clean up late game. Well,
All right,
yeah.
I
The only big
returned.
thing. Oh, yeah, you're okay. I was just finishing up with Fedora. This team is just awesome. You can take a look at it for yourself.
No, why don't you finish up what you were gonna say? I'm sorry, I interrupted.
Oh, you're good. Don't worry about it. I would say that this team is at minimum high A tier, just because you have a variety of options to set up, a variety of options to play defensive. Salamence is so tailor-made. Tusk is so easy to customize as well. Primarina. I would say this is an S tier team. I don't know exactly where. I'd be happy to discuss it with you, but I think this has to be S tier.
Honestly, I would agree. And like this team, yeah, oh yeah. I was about to say maybe a little frail, but then I see the Corviknight, Primarina, Rotom.
And those are all sneaky bulky. Like their base stats aren't massive, but like they have really good defensive typings.
Yeah, for sure. Uh, so we got Lobs and Hatcher already in S tier. Here, so where in S tier do we think?
I think, ooh, it depends on what you want to pilot. I think that this team is probably the most malleable out of the ones that we've looked at so far.
It's probably,
But
yeah, a little bit more versatile than the other ones.
I would agree with that. You can play a variety of styles. So maybe first place. I think Fedora's might be the best team we've seen so far.
I mean, I could agree with that. Like, you're not even struggling for removal either with Defog on Corviknight and Cleavor, as well as Rapid Spin Tusk, which is one of the best, which is like the best Rapid Spinner currently, I believe.
Yes, definitely.
Now, I'm not sold on the Darkrai personally. I still think that thing is a fraud.
Really, I think I've seen really creative sets with it. Like
I have yet to see those,
Terra is
so
better. Okay, we'll see.
we'll see.
But everything else, yeah. On that note, you want to move on to Brightwing?
Absolutely. First off, I see Gouging Fire, which I'm immediately jealous. I could have drafted but I didn't, and I'm kind of wishing I had. But no, I'm not. I have Terra Blaziken. Who am I kidding? But like, I love Gouging Fire. This thing is nuts.
It's my favorite new mon from that they added in the DLC. I think it's so fun to use.
Yeah, like you got Gouging Fire alone has so many sets. Like bulky, with like bulky Dragon Dance with like Morning Sun. You got Breaking Swipe Dragon Dance.
Exactly. You have just straight up defensive, which I've seen before too.
Yeah, I have seen that one as well. Like, there's just so much you can do with this thing, and it will still do decent damage all while doing it. Which is
Yeah.
amazing. Iron Bundle is... It's good depending on the mood it's in regarding Hydro Pump.
I like it better as a round 2 pick than a round 1 pick.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of the times you can kind of get away with not having to click bundle a lot of the time. I think it's more of a cleaner. And it kind of helps you more in like the prep stages, but I still enjoy it. I think Terra bundle would have been slightly better than maybe like Terra's Rude plus Azelf, but that's okay. I think it's still a very solid like choice on its own.
I mean, from what I've heard, a lot of people say, oh, just Terra it. You can run Terra Blast Water instead of Hydro Pump. But then, and you also see that people are missing out on kills and all sorts of things that Hydro Pump would have gotten, and it's maddening.
Oh yes, Terra Ice like has very few like true counters. You just have to force certain situations with it.
Yeah, Terra Ice
like I
Freeze
said,
Dry. Freeze Dry is a difficult move to switch into, usually. Uh, depending on the Pokemon's bulk. Oh my mouse is trying to move to my iPad. There we go.
oh, you're okay.
Zarude is another Pokemon that I really want to use. Like, it's a bulky dark grass done right. I think is what Zarude
Yes,
is.
with some nice recovery moves, some nice setup options.
And
It gets Trailblaze, so you can clean.
And it's not passive like a certain other grass dark legendary. Wo-chan.
Yes.
Like,
I like Terra on it too, because you can Terra fighting with it and get stronger CCs. And then you can also like fill in gaps in your coverage because honestly, sometimes you want a rock move, sometimes you want like a ground move that's a little bit stronger than Stomping Tantrum.
or you can
Um,
just run a defensive terror like Poison or Fire.
yes, both of those are really good too to avoid Will-O-Wisp or Toxics.
Or Poison is just in general great for dark types because Poison resists like every single type that dark is weak to. And I think it resists a few extras on like grass dark. If I'm
Yeah, like
remembering
Fairy,
correctly.
Bug, Poison, Fighting. It covers its weaknesses very well. You're right about that.
Now I will say, me personally, if I would have liked to see like a Skeletors or something to go with the Zarude because of how well the two cover each other's weaknesses defensively. Every type that Skeletors is weak to is resisted by Zarude, except with the exception of Rock, and every type that Zarude is weak to, with the exception of Flying, is resisted by Skeletors.
Yes, no ghost type on this
And-
team actually kind of hurts because, yeah. But
Yeah, I mean, and you've also got you're kind of weak to Fairy with this team because you've got like two fighting types and a dark type, and your Fire does not resist Fairy either. Like you're only
but then you have a fat Clodsire.
and a fat Skarmory, all things considered, so you're probably fine. I will say I am iffy on the Hitmontop choice after Wonderfire and last season's incidents.
But Hitmon fraud.
They couldn't even. I did the calcs after that. Fun fact.
Mhm.
That if you're not adamant, max attack Hitmontop Mach Punch is a roll in Shen Pao's favor to survive.
Oh, poor Hitmontop.
Like if you're not adamant in max attack.
Oh.
That is
One sec. My voice and video is not working. One sec.
I'll good that.
Wait, why can't I hear you guys? I should be able to hear you guys.
oh, wait.
Hmm.
Not the on-stream mic testing.
Let's see.
Maybe now?
Uh,
Can you hear us?
Okay, I think I got responded.
hope you are well. Hope you are doing well, Vitrena. We are currently doing power rankings for the Deoxys divisions.
Okay, now try talking.
Talking.
Okay, I can hear you guys now.
Okay, perfect.
We're currently
Yippee.
doing power rankings for Deoxys divisions. And do you want to join
Oh,
in?
cool. Sure. Where's the power and where's the rank?
Currently
That would be on.
Currently we're just doing like a. Currently we're just doing it live, kind of. We're on Brightwing's team and we're doing it off the dock, and then I'm putting them on a tier list.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like what Thomas did for Delta. If you watched that.
I think I did. I get the idea.
Right. I would say that Brightwing's team is really good, but I think you're going to struggle with Hitmontop as your only removal, since Ghost types already want to switch into Hitmontop in the first place.
Actually, you're gonna want to run boots on bundle and fire every single week now because you don't have the most reliable hazard removal.
Yeah.
I was going to say, where is his removal?
Just the Hitmontop.
Hitmontop, yippee! Oh my goodness, that thing is just asking to be killed.
Yeah, it can't even Oko a Chenpao, like...
His best bet is to just go hyper offense each week. Which, it's not that bad for his team, but...
And, I mean, Milotic does give him, like, even Hyper Offense seems really love, like, a good bulky pivot, like Milotic is. To tank the hits for them as the frailer Pokemon come out. Which is still pretty nice. Me, personally, I would have liked to see the Terra on the Palmont over the Azelf.
Yeah, I like Terra Palmont. It getting to spam double shocks. Terra Azelf I haven't seen yet. I guess that's to give it like some a little bit stronger like fairy coverage. Because that's typically what it wants a lot of the time. But
Yeah.
yeah.
I also, again, I also just like Terra Electric Palmont with like double shock. How that works is that you just, if you're Terra Electric with Palmont and you use double shock, you can just spam the move.
Yeah, it doesn't take away your
Yeah.
electric typing, so it's very fun.
I will say that at least, even though they only have one removal option, they have plenty of hazards. They got Skarm, Claude, and Stealth Rock Azelf, so just
That-
make the opponent remove them for you.
I think this team would really appreciate a spin blocker.
Yeah, that's what we
Yeah.
we just
But
we kind of
block
said
would
There's
that.
no ghost type? Oh no.
So sad.
So sad indeed. I would put this
I
one.
don't know what they were cooking, but they did.
I'd say like B in that case then, because like
Yeah,
there,
like low B.
there's a lot
I'd
this
say, like-
team would is missing that it would kind of really benefit from.
Yeah, definitely agree.
I think
Okay,
it's
yeah,
still
B is
better than
third tier.
Tark.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think it's still better than Tark because Tark's team is mostly tied to Rain.
But
And
then again, his team does have synergy. I like synergy in a team.
which is fair, but also you don't want to be locked into one playstyle like every week.
It doesn't not
Hmm.
have a rain mode though, is the problem.
No, it does have not rain mode. You just go Quiver Dance Venomoth 1 week.
Oh, okay.
He kind of already did
guys
that week
forgot.
1.
Oh my goodness. I gotta see that replay.
Venomoth reverse swept, fun fact.
Let's go.
I'm very surprised it didn't go Terra Iron Bundle.
Yeah, Terra
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Bundle.
was gonna say that.
Terra Bundle plus Terra Palmont would be really strong.
I mean, I'm not gonna diss Terra Zarude because I've seen people destroy leagues with it, but
Oh yeah,
Terra Bundle definitely could have.
I admittedly have never seen Terra Zarude, but it's probably quite good.
I think it popped off
Jungle
a fair
healing is
bit last
one hell of a
season.
drug.
All right, but next up we move on to avocado. No, not the food, unfortunately. Great, now I'm getting hungry.
Hmm.
All right, so we got the Terra Single Strike first off. That thing just clicks buttons.
Makes you. Indeed.
Terra Wicked Blow. It KOs everything.
I don't know if it kills everything now. I think most of the time you're gonna want to click Swords Dance.
Yes.
I mean, I think like banded sets still go pretty.
Yeah,
hard.
bandits.
Not too much
Bandit,
too.
bro. I mean, I'm not saying you're not gonna run Swords Dance, because you definitely are gonna run Swords Dance at some point. But also,
Oh, yeah.
Scarf and Band are just.
It is defense division, so I gotta. Yeah, okay. Bandit probably does run through half the teams.
Damn, not the defense call out.
Seen Terra Acro as well. Terra Poison goes very well, just like you said with Zarude in a way. It covers a lot of the same weaknesses.
I'm excited to see Terrapagus.
Terapagos has already been performing
I've heard
in every league I've seen.
I got that thing last season for like 13 points, and it overperformed. Like, I didn't even run anything more than like Terra Starstorm, Earth Power, Rapid Spin, Calm Mind most weeks, and I still managed, and it still managed to get like 9 kills throughout the season or something.
Yeah, it doesn't have recovery, but it doesn't need it because it claims a kill almost every time it comes in.
Yeah.
Like even then, if you want to, you can always run random stuff.
And on top of that, it has removal, rapid spin removal. Everyone loves it.
Big spinner.
And it already wants to run heavy duty boots most of the time too, so it kind of just slots itself into that role pretty well.
This guy doesn't have a defogger, but honestly, it doesn't matter with court change and rapid spin.
Yeah,
I don't think
it definitely helps. I think this team can definitely afford to go to lean more offensively, and worst case scenario, you can always just court change half his off.
Yeah.
Who needs to waste a turn on defog when you can just click Bandit Wicked Blow?
Yeah.
I will say
the hazards aren't the best.
No, you go on.
Metagross, Stealth Rock, Terraphagos I think has Stealth Rock as well. Chestnut has Spikes.
All your hazard setters are going to be
Pheasant Deputy I think has Toxic Spikes.
Pheasant
I mean, it's not the
Dipshitty.
most, but I think it's more than my original draft for my team.
Yeah, I think all the hazard setters are pretty big, like momentum things.
Me personally, I would have loved to see something over the Pheasant Dippity, but that's just because, like, it's a Pheasant Dippity. What is it ever gonna contribute to a game?
I think I would have liked seeing Terra Feds here.
Yes, over the Terra Chestnut. It's very weird.
I think you definitely could have had like some heat with like Calm Mind or Swords Dance Fez, and made Terra work on it.
Could he afford Terra Fez?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure Terra Fez is the same.
It's probably more expensive.
I'm pretty sure Terra Fez is the same price, is like 10 points maybe, and like the same, or maybe the same price or something.
Oh no, it is the same price. Yeah, you can
it is
do it.
Yeah.
In fact, it might save you points because Chestnut is probably more expensive. No, Chestnut's the same price. Whatever.
Chestnut's that's fine. I think ultimately, I see the vision of going for
Walking Wake without Sun is interesting.
Yeah, what do y'all think about Wake on this team? Because I would have rather seen a bulky water.
Wake's interesting.
Walking Wake isn't bad on its own. It's got knockoff. It's got flip turn. Okay, cool.
I could understand wanting Wake for like speed, but you already have Cinderace overlapping with it. It is good immediate special offense. I can also see this team like teching like I don't know, like Sunny Day and something. Then Wake goes big, Cinderace goes big.
Although they did pay 15 for Wake, so yeah, I think they could have afforded a bulky water that would have just paired well with Metagross.
Yeah.
Like maybe even a Pert.
Pert was taken quite well at this point, but...
Oh, yeah. Water's have been... Actually, wait, is...
That is a round 8 Walking
Wake. That's the only
Wake.
division Pert's taken.
Swampert is not taken. Interesting.
Swampert's not even taken into. Oh no!
Oh wait, no, it's only taken in defense.
It's
Yeah.
only taken defense. Okay, it was round
I
4
lied.
that I got taken.
All right, but
Terminal.
yeah,
You guys already went over the team.
I think this team could appreciate a slow pivoter because all of your pivots here are relatively fast,
Yeah,
and they're
Yeah,
usually gonna outspeed.
I
like,
guess the
slower
best you got is like no speed investment pheasantipity.
yeah, you're in like min speed, but even then, you're still gonna have like
You're still gonna have problems because you're a pheasantipity.
yeah, you're gonna have like physical breakers that are like just coming in. It's like, oh, well, I can't pivot on that.
Fine, guys. You got that ejects pack chestnut with CC.
Oh no!
All you need.
Oh my god, I played a game today. I meant to run red card and I run eject button instead.
Oh.
Aww, that's unfortunate.
But
I do
yeah, I
like
mean,
the team a lot, though. I think that they didn't bother wasting any points on lower tiers and got some good value picks.
yeah, I agree.
Bullock's cool.
I mean, Metagross, we saw what happened with Olivia last season.
Oh yeah.
True.
Like I think all the Metagross did well last season. I think there was maybe one that
It's got
didn't.
plenty of coverage moves.
MDT is also not bad at all. That's a nice breaker.
One other thing I'd say is there's a pretty big speed gap between Christian and Metagross.
Yeah,
A lot of stuff just isn't gonna need to creep because a lot of the time Metagross isn't even gonna be running that much speed.
yeah. Like you could afford to just like creep an adamant in Metagross if
Yeah.
that's like you can get away with just not creeping it at all sometimes on a faster Pokemon, and it
Well, oh wait, actually, hold on. How fast is Terapagos?
85.
Oh, okay, actually, it's not that bad then.
It's
Never mind.
it's like
I was-
15 points.
I was checking the original Terapagos,
Oh, the baby.
and I'm like, oh wait, what's going on here?
Yeah, the baby doesn't exist.
I still don't know why the baby exists.
Probably
I
marketing.
have not played the DLC.
Because neutralizing gas doesn't even stop it from transforming.
Yeah, then probably marketing.
Clear and Weezing just like being the hard counter to Terapagos to be very funny.
Indeed.
Okay, so I mean, ranking wise, I would put this like low A, high B.
I would agree with like low A.
Yeah, I definitely think so.
I'm trying to see. What did you guys rank as team number 1 so far?
Fedora.
Fedora, I believe.
Fedora, of course. What a nerd.
Oh, good. Sure.
Thank you.
I think Lav's
Also,
Hatster and
says the
Fedora.
Pokemon
Fedora.
Draft League player.
Hatster.
Fedora's team looks
Yeah.
quite good.
Yeah.
Do you think it's better or worse than
It is a
Adamu?
solid A. Worse
Better
than
or worse than who?
Adamu.
Adamu, that's the Ogerpon Wellspring team.
Oh, that one's a hard. 'Cause they got a lot of good offensive threats. They got Ogerpon Wellspring.
Yeah,
oh,
but it's also the top.
Pantera Jolt.
They are bottom A
Yeah,
because
they
because they basically only have 7 Mons that are going to be coming to most games.
Yeah.
And
Mm.
their hazard removal is Kamala.
They really saw Mew
Oh,
wanted
only
to make sure that they could be as indecisive as possible with the team.
Does Mew get rapid spin?
No, it doesn't
That's
get any
dumb.
removal this gen.
That's so sad.
It can zap every hazard though, so well except for Sticky.
I'd probably put it above.
I'd put it
Yeah.
above too.
Alright. So,
Both teams have
That's what
their
Roaring Moon deserves.
$30
No one likes
DLC
Roaring Moon.
moves.
alright. Next up, a fairy, well known for the Zacian incident of last season.
What is she running?
Zacian? You didn't see it?
Good stuff. Nice little balanced team.
Yeah, you got. This reminds me a lot of Gen 4 OU.
I'm actually vibing heavy with this.
I would draft this.
Where's the?
This is like
rapid
Gen. Wait,
spinner?
no, this is Gen 6
Is
OU in
there
a
a rapid spinner
nutshell.
only Serena?
This is literally just Gen 6.
Serena
and
is
it's like
good, dude. Serena's so
Crown
good.
over, like,
That's their only rapid spinner.
Zarina isn't horrible at it for the most part.
I am a big Serena hater. It is a terrible
Oh.
Pokemon.
No, it's so good.
It's
It got a
fine.
little bit better because
I-
it re-got triple axle, but before the DLC dropped, no.
It has
was
Oh,
knockoff.
horrible.
I don't love it as solo removal.
No.
That would be a main gripe.
Terra Iron Crown
Um,
is also interesting.
Although
Yeah.
the team also
Yeah.
does love heavy duty boots.
Also,
Well, the tough thing with Crown is that you're always going to suffer with your move pool, but
I'm intrigued.
you're going to be able to go run like Terra Blast Mighty.
I'm intrigued to see how it does outside of Psy Spam. Because there's like no
Yeah,
Indeedee
that
on
is-
this team.
That's true. I don't think you even need size spam. I think you just run booster speed most time.
I will say if Iron Crown doesn't work out, Weavile is the same point total for Terra. You can just swap it. It's not that bad.
This is just a minor gripe, but I feel like I had to say it. If they're unbanning Speed Boost Blaziken as Terra Captain, they should have unbanned Garchomp and Darkrai as well.
Could
Ooh, I don't know. Garchomp Scale Shot's scary.
How expensive is Terra Weavile?
The
Is
same.
it the same
15, I
price?
believe.
Yeah, same price. It's 15.
I feel like I would have rathered seeing Terra
Weavile Terra?
with Terra Iron.
I would rather see it than Terra
Dundee.
Thunder Eye, but that's just me.
But I mean, if they just wanted
I
to try
used
the
it-
mod, I
I
understand
used
that.
Thunderous Incarnate last season with Terra. It did do okay, but it was definitely like probably my least favorite mon on that team.
I mean, you run like Nasty Plot, the Thunderbolt, Terra Blast Ice, and that probably does.
It's
work
full
with
beam
these.
coverage.
Terra Ground
yeah.
is also like one that I ended up running a fair bit.
Interesting.
I like the pivots on this team though. You got Rotom Wash, you got
Oh, yeah.
Iron Crown, which is really good at running Assault Vest in my opinion. Serena kind of does
Hmm.
that to an extent.
I mean, you got
Quillfish is the
Whiscash,
goat. Then you got
you got
his
great options.
Hisui and Quillfish is just the goat though. Like,
It's so
Yeah.
fat.
and it's not like passive either. It's still gonna do damage to you.
Yeah, and Aqua Jet.
Like,
I
even-
wish I got Flip
so...
Turn.
Like, just Chomp and Quillfish as hazards are generally just quite good. The main thing is,
And Clef, yeah.
yeah, you're gonna have Garchomp and Clef. You're usually gonna need to run hazard with one of them, which might be annoying if you want to run setup on like Garchomp or like
Yeah,
All Mine.
I mean Quillfish does get spikes, and toxic
Yeah.
spikes, and then Crown also gets rocks, I believe.
Crown does not get rock, unfortunately.
Rip.
Um,
I'd say this is like a
but yeah, I mean,
solid, probably B, maybe C compared to everything else though.
I disagree actually. I would put this like high B.
I'd put it high B as well. I can't put it A because it just doesn't have like the dumb or Shifu single
Yeah.
strike or Ogerpon Wellspring.
The
just
speed
doesn't-
tiers are quite good on this. I
Yeah.
would say.
Yeah, they definitely are.
So I
125,
think
111.
I think it ranks way higher than Brightwing, but it definitely isn't avocado levels. I don't think.
Yeah.
Because comparing Brightwing and Fairy's teams, the difference is very clear. One of them is just a bit more
Uh,
concise.
Probably put it like between Fernank and Terminal.
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Alright, up next, Buff Cat. Alright, let's try to move through these a little more quickly. It is 10 o'clock where I'm at.
Yeah. I was
Mhm.
gonna say.
This looks crazy good to me.
Yeah, like Terra Annihilate is like one of the. It's a very fun Terra Captain. It was my original plan before I saw Terra Blaziken made it to me.
Yeah, I mean, I think just goes crazy. You have incredibly good speed control options. You've got Booster Moth, Booster Shock, Deoxys Speed, E-Speed Dragonite.
Blastoise is also
Blastoise
decent
and Brock.
removal.
Yeah, I mean, this team
Hmm.
looks super, like, heavy hyper offensive.
With a webs option, but then like
Oh, ew, it
Yeah.
has webs. Oh my god.
Have you seen those
Yeah,
I-
also
the
those
better red
Araquanid
setters.
calcs? Have you guys seen
Yeah,
water
Araquanid
bubble
liquidation,
Araquanid calcs?
crazy.
I
You can do
think
some funny stuff with it.
I think this team is insane.
I
Uh,
agree.
There
They
is
made
High
way too
A,
many threats.
low S maybe.
I'm putting this
Like,
S. I
yeah,
think
this
this
S.
just goes insanely well offensively.
Mm-hmm.
compared to.
Lavs,
I still think it's
Hatster.
below Fedora, unfortunately. As much as I would
Well,
love to
yeah.
say it above Fedora.
Fedora.
Just
Below.
removal options.
Do we think it's better or worse than Hatster?
Better than Hatster?
Terra Blaziken.
They have Terra Blaze. I don't like out of the two Terra caps.
I do think this is better than Hatster's.
I think it
I-
is better than
I will agree with
Hatster's
that
by
because
a
I
hair.
don't see where Hatzer's real removal is besides Tenti.
I think Blaziken carries Hatster's, but this team just has a ton of hitters, bro.
Yeah, that's
Some
fair.
really
And
good
some good
options.
bulky mons. That's
And
what
like
I'm looking at.
Tankaton is so annoying to like set up mons and like
Yeah, it even
Cool.
has Mold Breaker, so not even Goldango is safe.
It's insane, man.
Alright, lastly for defense is Faye.
Moving on to this is very interesting.
Yeah, we got.
Faye-
First off, Latios is the sole Terra captain.
all you need.
I
is
think they
interesting.
could. I mean,
They couldn't-
Ursaring?
They could move like Tierra or something. I mean, I don't think it's doing much for him anyway.
I
Oh,
mean,
that's right.
Ursaring is still something. It's got Eviolite now, so
That's true.
Yeah, that's not
I've
a mon.
seen-
Glamora, some good hazards.
I've seen Ursaring pop off since he gained access to Eviolite.
even better, put it
Mhm.
on Luxray. Come on.
Also, Scizor Glamora. Lantern Comic intensifies.
Is that a core?
Yes, those are your mons. Lando I still think is pretty good. I've seen assault vests.
So-
So basically one elevated attack.
I mean, Techno has been trying
we-
to Techno's been trying to say it's a fraud, but I saw it get 6 kills earlier today. So
I will say I am on the Lando Eye as a rancher.
dang.
I think for the price it is right now, I think it's good. It's 14. It's
Yeah.
a
Yeah, it's
really good flying ground mod. But we were talking about how little removal there is.
There's a
This team has
Quaquaval
plenty.
and a
It has at least
Scizor
3
and a
options.
Glamora.
Yeah.
What a
man.
Glamora.
Yeah.
Notice that just has great removal.
Like, hazards are
Great-
not
great
staying
hazards.
up on this team, and nor has now hazards aren't staying up for this team either, because there's no ghost type to do any spin blocking.
Yeah. But
So there
I
is
don't
no
know
goat.
if they.
But they do just pressure offensively very well.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think Quaquaval and Latias are really gonna let the opposing team get a turn in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, if you
Or
get
that, or even
Quaquaval-
just Rocky Hummus Scissor, just punish the rapid spin.
I mean, one free turn is all it
Doesn't
takes
always need
for
to be a
Quaquaval to step all over his opponents.
Of course.
The meow is just annoying.
Yeah, that is one of... That mod has been insane. A lot of people... Poor Weavile, a lot of people... Meowscarada claiming it's better.
Oh yeah. No, people like jumped on now.
I mean, Meow just has a really good speed tier. The
Like-
123 is nice.
Honestly, I think the only
Sure.
bad thing about this team is that his last month's a Luxray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like the only like middling part of this team that I would say is a little less good. He is a little weak to flying.
Oh yeah.
Actually-
I think Scizor kind of carries this team defensively.
Yeah,
because
well,
you're fairly,
okay.
very weak.
I mean, Screamtail is no slouch. Like, that thing last season, it may not do damage, but it is far from passive. Like, you set up in
Can
front of that
confirm.
thing. Like, you set up in front of that thing, it's going to try and Encore you, Thunder Wave you or Perish Trap you, or just screw you over in some way or another.
Perish Trap.
No, but I love the hazard options on this team. I like the removal options on this team. It's not slow.
I'd say the only problem is his lack of a secondary Terra Captain and the Luxray.
Yeah. What do y'all think?
I would put this like mid V.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, yes, there's not much wrong with it, but like also, oh, the mons themselves, elves can sometimes struggle.
I wouldn't be surprised to see this team do really well, but I
Oh,
also would not be
absolutely
like
not.
shocked to see it not do super well at the same time.
Between LS and Fernank, you think, or like, because that's like dead center B.
I would
Love
put this.
Fernand. I like this more than Fernand just because I think I'd bring the support mons a little bit more. But
That's fair.
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's put it there. All right, moving up next, we got speed. Now I'm gonna selfishly, while I've got you all here, I'm going to selfishly skip ahead to my team just so I make sure I've got people here with me when I do the rankings. Because if I did them on my own, they'd be very biased.
number one.
Weird. Hold on, where are you?
All right.
All right.
We're-
So we've got
Don't worry, chat.
okay.
This is just while I've got people here.
we've got Fraudikin.
Ikantera, I'd hardly call that a fraud.
Even Florges is a really good secondary Terra captain.
Yeah, Terra Florges is quite good here.
I'll say I was sniped so many times.
Bro,
I mean, have you
Yes.
considered just not being sniped? Oh my goodness.
all right.
I mean, I love the round 6 pick, just gonna say it. I think it makes and breaks the team.
That's a
Laura does
reference.
quite good.
I- I was hyping it up a lot initially because I was planning on getting a Blood Moon, but then I realized I couldn't make the points work out with the snipes.
Yeah.
So I think this team is locked into being quite offensive, which is okay. I think you've got Blaziken, Greninja, and you've got very good hazards with both Gren and Glamora.
Hmm.
Obviously, I think Defog Sizz is a bit tough.
Mortal Spin Glamora, yeah. The lack.
Oh, actually, you do have Glim. That's true.
Like, yeah, it's not ideal for sure.
I mean,
Potentially, I actually
Glim
do
does
like,
make it
but
better.
I do actually like the Hisuian Zoroark Blaziken combo. That is going to get in the heads of so many people.
I hope it's going to get into your
Oh,
head
do
for
I have
week
to worry
5
about
that
speed boost or not?
that
you're gonna see the air balloon Blaziken, and you're gonna be like, surely this has to be.
Surely
And then-
this is the Blaziken and not the Zoroark. Oh, I love Zoroark mind games.
the only thing I'm worried
unfortunately, I am bad at them.
Ah,
You just gotta have confidence. But the only thing I worry about is like you have Blaziken, Greninja, Zoroark, which like you probably want to bring those a lot of the time, and they're all somewhat frail, so they can't really catch too many wish passes. And then like I like Mudsdale, I do like it. I like Florges, but both are slightly passive, so you're just trying to balance those. But these look like all mons that I like using, which is always nice.
I will say,
I mean,
I
you have
also
a
kind of
lot good
realized.
counters.
I also initially I just drafted Meowstic last because it was like 2 points and it's there. But I also do kind of like. But I was also told that it does provide a fair bit of value to this team with like prankster screens and
Screen
Thunderwave
is
and
quite
Yawn
good.
and stuff like that.
We saw what happened with the Isaac in a game recently.
It's
The whole
mainly for.
Sableye.
It's okay. I think Gira is interesting here because
I don't mind Gira.
So I didn't understand this one initially. Actually, I had to ask for clarification. I went to get advice from someone, and they suggested Gyarados because let me find the DM.
It's like the main thing for me is that I think Gyarados plus Staraptor is an interesting choice. Double flyings with Intimidates does have a fair bit of overlap.
Gyarados provides
mind it,
provides a fair bit of offensive potential plus a good ground immunity, and we already have. I was initially going to draft a bulky water in place of it, Then it was told I already have Great Bulk already with Blaziken. Sorry, not Blaziken. With Florges plus Mudsdale and Appleton as well.
True.
And then
I mean,
also Gyarados does provide a lot of utility, like Roar, Thunder Wave, Taunt, and Intimidate is fairly bulky as well.
Yeah, dodging the ground attacks I do like. I like having more than one flying
it
sometimes.
is quite nice for Blaziken.
And Glamora.
Yeah,
Ultimately, yeah, I'd say the team's quite good. I think your speed tiers are quite on point. I mean, you obviously have speed boost Blaziken.
It's definitely balanced. I'm not sure where you can break it because the bulk, I think it's going to be hard
Yeah.
to build against. I'm not so sure how well it's going to perform because you can't obviously bring all these mons at once. You're going to have a weakness somewhere.
I know.
But,
I am
like,
already
and on
struggling
paper-
to fit all the mons that I want in
I
any
think-
given matchup.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
think the team does struggle because Mudsdale is usually going to be carried for like electric and rock moves.
Yes.
And your only flying resist is Lamora.
Yeah,
That was the big one that I was looking at.
I knew that very well. I unfortunately this was the steel type. Unfortunately, I got Scizor, which is it was the best remaining steel type that fit my team. JK sniped me
Yeah.
Vapoleon, unfortunately.
You're gonna hate playing Scoot Hawk. I'm just gonna tell you that now. That looks like a very fun matchup between Iron Hands and Terra Thunder Terra Torn T.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, where do you guys think we should put this one?
I would
I-
put this A, maybe low A, but I put this.
Low
So,
A.
I would say
I was going to say minimum high A. I think Blaziken Terra with the proper support does a lot.
Yeah, I'd start this in A.
Sure.
This is a good A tier.
I think A works.
Alright. Okay, now we're gonna head backwards.
Oh, Big Daniel. Oh wait, no, actually, Boba Fett. All right.
Alright, so this team is a Sun team. The Dragapult Sun.
Ooh, hold on.
This is intriguing.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I'm fighting it week 1. Thanks.
Because this is
Aren't you supposed to play in
entirely
like 20 minutes, Bat?
No, I thought it was. I prepped for it, but apparently it's Sunday.
Damn.
I wish the bottom three were just one mon. I don't quite know what that one mon
Oh, I
is. but
don't like
feel
Torkoal's removal. It's never...
Funny story, by the way. If you look down, so look at Pokepan's team, and then look back at Potatoes D's. Notice anything similar?
Wait, why are there two Wigglytuffs?
Hmm.
Hold on.
Like, wasn't one of them supposed to be a Jigglypuff?
No, one of them was a Ditto.
Uh-oh. Ooh, what happened there?
It was retconned using transactions. Don't worry.
So ultimately, this is a very interesting team because most of the time you'll see weather teams draft and they'll be very built around it, but this is like entirely optional stuff.
And which I think I like better, in all honesty, because
I think it is quite good.
like if you commit a team to weather, you're basically locking in your strategy. This one doesn't commit to weather quite as much. It certainly likes weather a lot of the team, but it doesn't need it, I would think.
Yeah.
One big thing is the double dragon core here.
It's not bad
And
though.
I-
They're two great dragons.
I think it works quite well, just because you're supporting it with Bronzong and Pheasantipity.
Yeah,
This works great here because you're taking both dragon and fairy moves for both of them,
yeah.
Mhm.
and then you have like great ground resists as well in Thundy and Bronzong.
Yeah. I
And you're-
already had to prep taking Pheasantipity into account because anything that hits the rest of the team does not hit Pheasantipity. So I have to be like, okay, I'll slot in that move, thanks.
Yeah, that
That is a good secondary. That's oops, sorry, God.
this is my week 3. So that definitely sounds annoying. And Hisui and Samurott, I will say, his spin blocker being Dusclops and Dragapult are his spin blockers, which is
Pult
definitely
is a good. I think Pult is a good spin blocker. I don't think Dusclops comes that often.
I
yeah.
don't think it comes. Period.
Yeah.
I mean, this team,
Um,
absolutely not.
I think Pulse is
Sam-
quite decent as a spin blocker. I don't think you're getting spin block that much because you're not really getting much hazards apart
Said
from your
Samurai.
Cecil Sad spikes.
Yeah.
You're occasionally gonna get like the stealth rock.
Yeah, like the rare Stealth Rock, Torkoal, or Bronzong.
But you're
I think the Sand
obviously
Slash is gonna actually come. By the way, this thing is probably gonna come like 3 or 4 times.
I can see it.
I could. It's his only ground type.
So his team does have a bit of an ice weakness, but it's okay because he's got a
That's
bronze
true,
on and a
like-
Torkoal.
His
But-
main fire type not resisting ice can be a bit of an issue because ice is already such a good enough offensive type that it's very easy
Which
to
is
sell ice
hilarious.
move on.
Thinking a Sun team is weak to
Sun
ice.
team is weak to ice.
That
Did somebody grab bundle? Oh, that Terra bundle looks like it's gonna have a field day.
But the problem is drought. If they play Torkoal right,
That
the
is
bundle
true.
isn't going to have a good.
I mean,
shit.
Fez in general is probably going to be able to deal with Bundle quite well.
Most
and
likely,
then-
Bundle's just
That's
going to want
fair.
to click Flip Turn round 1. Flip Turn, Ice Beam.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, sure, you can slot in Hydro Pump, but just pivoting around, that's its best bet.
yeah.
I like this team.
I'm quite a fan of this team. I think it works quite well.
Yeah, unfortunately, I like it, especially because the Hisuian Lilligant and Thundy
I
Eye
think-
isn't that bad.
I think you could maybe appreciate like more reliable removal. Like, yeah, you have Torkoal, you have Sand Slash, you have T-Fog, Elegant, I guess.
Yeah.
I remember he
So,
was
my
talking about this
friend-
team. The problem was he couldn't find anything that was worth it. The best thing I think he found was Noctowl, and that's enough.
My friend Will used Hisuian Lilligant in the PPL-D League, and he kept running Hustle repeatedly over Chlorophyll despite having a Sun mode because of Calx. So
Bro, Hustle Calyx go crazy.
yeah, but it's Hustle. So let's just say that I hope
Your friend
Lilligant
Z.
isn't moving that fast.
Hey, you miss every shot you don't take.
Except with Lilligant, you miss some of the shots you do take.
uh, yeah. What do y'all think of this? I think this might be another A, in my opinion.
I would put this at
I
it.
think it's. It might be less than comic, but I don't know. They sort of have the same removal.
Yeah.
Actually, no.
yeah,
Lantern
come
definitely
on.
has better removal. I can't disc Glamora and Scissor like that.
Hey, removal is fake this generation, anyways.
True.
I don't know. My team argues otherwise.
I would put this lower than him,
Okay,
but both A, I think.
y'all gassing me up here.
I think it's close. I just like gouging. I'd use Pokefan's team just because I like gouging more, but I think they're very close.
All right,
I mean,
Big
based
Daniel.
off what team is more fun, definitely Pokefans. I mean, you get Dragon Ball and gouging.
I mean, I
fire
recognize my
starters.
team is not fun. Like,
It's a
Yeah,
prep
oh,
one,
it's
yeah.
Zora's so
Or no, it's a
fun.
prep
Zora's
with.
so fun. But okay,
Alright,
Daniel.
Big Daniel coming up.
the Sneasler.
Big
Look,
Sneeze.
I love this thing.
glad
I
I put
wanted it so badly. I was like, I literally told that, do not snipe me of Terra Sneasler. And then immediately Terra Sneasler gets taken by Daniel.
Terra Caesar goes hard.
To be
Uh,
fair, I wasn't
Belly
going
Pool?
to take Terra Sneasler after last season. I'm not good with it. It was shown.
Bro, you brought the same Terra Electric Scarf set like every dang week.
I did not bring it the same week. I brought it every week except for one. Maybe two. And I did not trigger a single Dire Claw. It is a scam. I wanted a refund.
Saying a refund on Terra
Go
Sneasler.
crazy.
People are calling that thing broken, you know.
You know, I think, what is it? Terra Ursaluna did more than it.
You not run like
Okay.
Endura Lychee Berry like a single time with Acro?
No, this
No,
man did
the
not
Scarf
cook
always
with his
just-
Sneasler.
Scarf worked in so many matchups.
Scarf
I'm
is
trying
good
to
in a lot of
think
matchups.
how. One immediate thing I notice is that your main removal here is going to be Default Corv.
The
And
team's
that's
also
removing terrain.
fairly slow. Like this,
Eh,
there's
know
a
what?
pretty
Yeah,
big
you're
speed gap between Alolan Ninetales and Rillaboom /
Oh.
Cleavor.
yeah. Like, I think this team does have a Sneasler and it does have the Rillaboom to support it, but you're gonna have to run Defog Corv, which is gonna remove the terrain, which is super tough because you're self-sabotaging there. And
Yeah.
then it also means you can't run EQ Tinglu most of the time, which
So-
probably
makes the
isn't
game-
that
I
big of a
don't
deal.
even think it get. I don't know if it gets high horsepower,
I think it's only stopping Tantrum.
Yeah.
which
So it's going to make everything more passive. So things are going to take way longer to kill Tinglu, and Tinglu is also going to take 20 more turns to kill things.
I was
yeah.
actually looking at calcs against Tinglu. I don't think there's a single thing that can OHKO it without Terra
I mean, choice
Yeah,
or some
band.
sort of setup.
I mean, choice banded.
Urshifu,
Yeah, choice banded Urshifu right over on the right over there would probably do something.
Rilla's probably got it with the band. Ultimately, I do kind of like kind of a whack core, but I do like Skeletor's Stage Slash a little. You've got Skeletor's that's able to cover both fighting and fire moves.
I think the Sand Slash is interesting when you
Alright,
don't have
I
snow.
sent the calc.
You do have snow.
It's in general.
Oh,
Well, not in
right,
general,
duh.
but-
Yeah, you got Alolan Sandslash with Ninetales, which is kind of nice. I would have made Alolan Sandslash Terra here.
No, Sage. Remember when Sage drafted round 3 Terra Belly Bolt and then dropped it?
Damn.
I mean, she's a
Yeah.
goat though, so she can get
Yo,
away with it.
Yeah, so
Belly Bolt could do some stuff here though.
Yeah, I actually like Terra Belly Bolt.
Bro, Terra Belly
Good
Bolt was
lord.
like a killer in the PPLD league, so like
Oh,
it has potential.
Ultimately, I think this team is kind of carried by Sneasler.
Yeah, very.
Sneasler and Fat Core.
Otherwise,
And
it's-
like Sneasler also is kind of a fake speed tier, sort of, and like so many things are just going to ignore its speed tier anyway because it's either gonna scarf or unburden on you anyway.
Mhm.
So like
Yeah.
really,
I-
effectively, your fastest Pokemon for forcing speed tiers is Alolan Ninetales.
I would put this at like a B tier.
Yeah, the removal plus being so like fat that you need to switch around a lot
Yeah,
bothers me enough that I think I need to put it low.
yeah, I agree with that. Next up, the mon that makes everybody hate
Yes.
Gen 9.
Big King. Oh boy, this looks like a treat to fight.
I love this team. I would draft this.
Oh my god, wait, this is disgusting.
Yeah, you got so first off, Terra King Gambit, which is the
That
again,
round 6 Ursalute.
yes, he got it after I was planning on it initially.
Yeesh.
I somehow I could have gotten it round 6, and I decided against it because I didn't have the points.
So this
I-
offensive core is sick. Like actually so
Yeah,
sick.
I mean,
How
dick as in disgusting, which is good.
like I have never seen anything not get O-code. Sorry, not get two-shot by Blood Moon at the very least.
Yeah, I mean,
People think Clef counters it, and then you run like expert belt with gunk shot. I did that to Sage last season. It worked very well. That thing trades so consistently.
It's like
Bro, I
Iron Hands in
ran-
that sense.
bro, I ran Ursaluna with Trick Room, and I swept with Belly Drum. That shit went hard.
No Trick Room.
There is
Well,
Deoxys
no
Speed, but there is Trick Room, but Deoxys Speed is the center.
You can teleport, and that's 2 move slots on a Deoxys speed.
No,
Which is-
I think this team goes crazy. I mean, you
Yeah.
have
Oh, definitely.
insane offense. You've got Kingami, you've got Deoxys.
Like I don't
you've got-
think I think lack of removal is kind of fine here because like so much is just offensively pressuring you so often that you're not really
I don't-
gonna get a free turn
don't
to get
think
those
you
spikes
really-
up.
Yeah, you don't really care that much. Like you got, I mean, if you really want to, you can run fast taunts Deoxys speed anyway, and just win the hazard game.
Yeah.
Or you just run it offensively, and it just does work.
Deoxys
You have
speed
Urshifu
is,
and Blood Moon to force trades too, which those are really nice.
and then where there's a King Gambit, there's a way out of like any match.
Real.
Deoxys and King Gambit pair together very well here.
I will say, you are a little weak to Fairy beyond the, like, I don't think Salazzle really counts here because first off, it's very frail, but second off, it's Terra Captain.
I think Salazzle's fine. I think you're tearing King Gambit most of the time.
Hey, Copperage is real though. I want to
Uh,
know, and I know.
Cop is there too. I don't even think Fairy's that big of an issue. Like you've got like sure, I mean you might be scared of like
Oh, there's
you're not gonna
Dugong.
be able to run Terra.
Immediate D tier. He drafted Dugong without Gloom.
Real big Dugong.
BGC related
It,
joke,
it,
I'm
sorry.
annoyed
it,
by-
it, it gets flipped now. It's not bad.
I mean, I've seen it
Yeah,
put in
they-
work, unironically.
It got like knock and encore and stuff.
It got a
Like,
lot
it's
of, like, useful offensive tools, but it's also got a 70 base attack.
And now triple axle too. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this team goes kind of crazy.
I
I think
definitely...
this is still S though.
I think this is an S.
Yeah. I'd probably... Like, S or, like... Well, might be a little... You might find it a little difficult to bring some of those bottom mons. But, like...
I don't even think that's an issue.
Still
I
an
think it's gonna
eight-mon-
be the
I'd pick an
matchups.
8-mon team.
Yeah. I think it still goes crazy.
Alright, top of A, S, or do we then make this our first S?
I'd put it S.
Yeah.
Alright, so we put it there. Up next,
Right.
but- Vatrena.
Yay, me. Yippee.
Okay,
my
immediate D,
favorite
immediate D
Pokemon.
tier. It's got a pink Urchin, immediate D tier.
Oh my
No,
goodness! Look, I
Dude,
had
your
3
iron
extra
coins are
points.
so
It's hard
good.
to spend.
This is very fun. This is very fun. Okay.
I found 3 Iron Mons. Of course, I'm gonna throw Prince Churchin on
You
there.
might as well run it.
Pink Urchin is
Yeah.
never worth it.
I never brought it when I had, or no, I did bring it a couple times. I mean, it does survive. I think CC from, what's his name,
And then what?
Shifu.
And then what's it gonna do
and then
after
red
that?
cards,
Memento.
red cards,
Yeah, you
red
should
cards,
put it.
red cards.
No, like
Hey, you just
honestly,
throw it in, red card, get the terrain up, and then just I don't know, dip.
I honestly
Yeah.
think this is like a perfect team for Pinker to fit on. Like,
Yeah.
sure, it's probably not coming that often, but you are gonna get the odd matchup where
Also, speed
You're
division.
gonna
Is
be
that a
able to
round
make
7 Weavile?
oh,
Yeah,
It,
yeah.
it was actually Grace Weavile. Sorry.
this
Even better. I love Weavile.
yeesh.
Oh, me too. That thing is
I will
so
point
fun.
out a weakness
I
with
used
this
it
team.
before.
My hazard. Wait, I don't really have a lot of hazards. I have Iron Treads, cool.
You're never running.
I think
Hacks
Iron
and
Thorns I
Thorns.
got spikes with and Stealth Rocks, but no, you're never going to click those. I'm going to click D-Dance. But be warned,
Yeah.
but be warned, I have spikes. Oh no.
I mean, that's fine. You've
Utility
got like
bot.
His removal
tread,
is
you got
okay.
Stealth.
Treads and Mandibuzz. Those are okay. You
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
don't
but
want to
the
run.
removal is up there.
The
You
removal is very good.
You probably
My
don't want to
setters, not
run
so much.
Defog on Mandibuzz very often if you're running other hazards, because that can just
You
sometimes
probably-
interfere.
You probably don't run defog if you do bring the incursion.
Mandibuzz
Yeah.
has plenty of other options though. It
Oh,
has
yeah.
knockoff, toxic.
I would
Foul
say
Have
the
play.
everything.
removal
Toxic
here
is certainly a word.
Oh yeah, toxic on a mon that isn't a poison type. We love to see it.
I know.
Also, is that a round 5 Hisuian Typhlosion?
No, Grace.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I mean, I quite like this. I think you've got Valiant, you've got Viva, you've got that good speed, those speed options.
Yeah, if it the speed tier.
you got to set up Latias. Latias is
Mhm.
quite good.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna like Thorns more than you think you will. That thing is so
I-
good.
I am praying to see Pinkerton work.
Oh, look, I've had some practice 2 seasons ago with my Iron Bundle team, but that one also didn't make playoffs, so
Ooh.
I misplayed that season.
Bro, I'm just saying, Life Orb, Valiant with speed boost.
You're saying you didn't misplay last
Oh,
season
yeah.
when you ran the same Sneasler set every week and that was abused by
And
Olivia?
look, I counted it. It was every week except for 3. And no, I did not misplay last season. Not majorly.
Once.
I did misplay 2 seasons ago because there was this one set which I should have had, and I threw it by switching.
Yeah. But yeah, it is a good Terralatios in round 3 is very nice. And like I said,
Yeah.
you're gonna like Thorns more than you think you will. If you ever need help with Iron Thorn sets, please just ask me. I love
Oh, I
building
was
with my
looking at
mom.
Latios. Latios is way bulkier than expected.
Yeah, that
Oh
thing,
yeah.
And the fact that it still has
I'm
recovery,
pretty
we
sure
love it.
Latios effectively has a higher base stat total than Latios because it also lost, because also points from attack went from physical attack went to other stats if I remember correctly.
Correct. It's physical defense instead of physical attack like Lottie. Os.
Mm,
I'm gonna have to go. Have a good stream, guys.
but yeah, what's not to
All
love?
right.
I think my 2 Terra Caps I'm going to enjoy. They both have a lot of sets I can run. And I definitely got the bulk for the team. It might be hard getting pivoting done, but it's okay. Don't really need to.
Yeah, Mandy and Milo, they can kind of figure it out.
Give me a sec, guys. I gotta move my setup real quick.
No
Okay.
problem.
So I'm gonna be muted for a bit.
Yeah, so I'm hoping Valiant's able to. This is my first time using it.
I've been
So
wanting to for so long. It's so good.
it's so hard to get in draft leagues. I
This
mean,
is
it's a
like,
nice mixed
yeah.
attacker, which I like.
Yes, and then the best offensive, well, like one of the top 3 offensive type combos in the game, I would say.
Now, I wish I could condense my points down more, maybe not have Pinchurchin and throw it into Muck, but I still think I got a good share of mons that can all hold their own.
Yeah, Muck is like I've seen people bring Muck. Muck is not bad at all. Um, the Typhlosion, you wanted like a spin blocker, which, ooh, that's not good. Uh,
Hmm.
I will be. Oh, my AirPods just died. Let me get my wire.
No!
They're pretty bad. Um, yes, I'll be back in a little bit. I gotta do something really quick anyway.
Alrighty.
Oh.
So I'm the only one here. I win. Oh my goodness. So since no one else can contest it, I think my team is obviously S tier. I don't see any reason why it should not be. In fact, I think that we add a new tier and put it above S, and we throw my team there.
Uh, all right, I am back. I believe chat. Let me my. I'm back.
Welcome back. I think we
Huh.
all agreed that my team is going above S tier.
And, I'd say your team is like a solid A.
Ah! I can't believe this.
Probably right above mine, honestly.
Hmm. I don't know.
Damn, I've been.
My team does have the bulk, but I'm not sure if it can
Damn, I'm streaming so
contend
late.
with
Poke is live.
the DPS. I think your team definitely has better DPS. Mine has better bulk.
That's fair. All right. Next we move on to Egg's team.
Egg Shimps. Now this is a breaker team. We love the 4 physical attack mons that are at the peak.
Yeah, you got Palafin, you got Roaring Mid, you got Lander Ethereum, Ogrepon Hearthflame, Hoopa Unbound, which is interesting. I
Well,
personally
it's
am
to
very
balance out the attack and the special attack. You know, like you got like 4 physical attackers, then you get like one of the best special attackers in game. It works.
I'm not big on Hoopa Unbound personally. I think that
I
thing
can't
is
believe this.
a little too weak to U-turn for my taste.
You're not a believer.
I am not.
It's not going to be weak to U-turn. It has Terra.
But is it going to? Okay, but first off. Okay, but but it is a Terra sync in that regard, and whereas you would still like to run Terra flying on like Landorus Therian, for instance, and if you were going to run this.
Look, I think it's good. I don't know how much I like Lando T as a Terra, but yeah, especially since you have Ogre Pawn Earthflame. I feel like I
That's
would much rather
un.
Terra the Ogre.
It was Terra banned this season.
What? But not Wellspring?
Correct. Heartflame is just the better one, the Terra wise.
Oh, I always thought the Wellspring was.
No, Heartflame's the one that gets the attack boost when it Terras.
But it does that really matter in the end? I mean, you can always
Yes.
just SD.
Yes, but then you have to use a turn.
We have plenty of those in Pokemon.
Now when you're an Ogrepon, you're a little bit frail.
Calling Ogerpon Water Frail is bold move. Bold move.
Uh,
I still don't like
no,
Lando T Terra.
there isn't any removal, though. Your only removal is Decidueye Defog, and you have
I
an
was gonna say,
Ogrepon
there's removal.
Hearthflame. So I don't think that part pairs particularly perfectly.
I do like that all of his top mons have a form of pivoting. Great, love that. Just pivot out of one of them into the other one that can deal with the current threat in front of you.
Yeah, and that is really what you want out of a Palafin team in generally speaking. Because Palafin wants to pivot, it wants to be able to it needs a turn to come in and come out. His team does need a free turn, but if you give it a free turn, it will make you regret that. That's the kind of the vibe I get from this team. That said, his own he doesn't really have many like big bulky options. It's kind of just the Clefable.
Now, I think that is below yours at minimum.
Really?
Well, yeah. The
Okay.
removal is worse. How did he manage to get worse removal than you?
If is your entire opinion is removal based, isn't it?
Removal is key. You know what? I mean, it's not really key. You only need one really good user, but Decidueye is not that one really good user.
That's fair. I don't think his team minds running boost, but he does need a good removal specifically with Ogrepon Hearthflame.
Yeah, because Ogrepon can't run boots. It is broke.
Yeah. Alright, skipping over my team, because we already did that. The Sylve.
Now this is a good team right here. Also, why is it Terra Wellspring? I thought that was banned.
It's Terra Hearth
Oh
Flame.
no, you said Hearthflame that was banned. Okay, I'm getting myself mixed up. No, Wellspring is cool. I like Wellspring.
Wellspring is like
And
one
then you
of.
got- Yeah, this is a bulky team. And I
Yeah,
like its setup potential.
it has quite a bit of that. You've got so Ogerpon Wellspring first off. Then you got Curum, which is a nuke without even setting up. Fun fact though, if Sylveon ends up fitting my team later on, Sylve has agreed that we can trade. So
I don't see why
for
they would do
Florges,
that though, because for Florges, okay, that would explain why. Because Florges can actually wall bundle. Same with Sylveon to an extent. If it was for a different fairy, then nah.
but like Florges and Sylveon specifically are very interchangeable, in my opinion.
They both fill the same niches, but they both do have different things.
So Excadrill is one of the better removal options you have in Paldea Dex. What's up, Samuel?
They're here. Okay, cool. Yeah, Excadrill is just a different version of Iron Treads, but it's got a lot of coverage, unlike Iron Treads.
What do you mean? It's got like X Scissor and Rock Slide, and that's it. And Iron Treads has like
Oh, wait.
Supercell Slam, Ice Spinner, and then
it
Volt
has
Switch
poison, has
and Body Press. Whereas Excadrill is kind of stuck with like X Scissor, Poison Jab, and Rock Slide. Doesn't even get Stone
yeah,
Edge.
never mind. I might have done a little bit lying. I thought it did get better moves. Man.
Nope. And then Hisui and Quillfish, as we all know from Rage last season, is the GOAT.
Yeah, because it can run APLite.
Oh, and it just becomes so bulky. Terrakion, my favorite PU Pokemon, but
Oh, you guys are talking about Pokemon. Great.
yeah, we are doing. I'm currently live streaming the WPF hour rankings for the Deoxys divisions. Trying to move these a little more quickly now, actually, because we are 2 hours in and only halfway through, and we're only about halfway through one division.
Yeah, we need a speed run. All right, I think this team has very good breakers. They obviously got good removal.
Yeah, your removal is pretty decent,
Excadrill
especially when you
Talon.
have Volcarona. So maybe it can afford to not
Volcarona
run
have?
boots. No, like the removal is good. That's possibly
Volcarona does
supporting
have
Volcarona.
defog.
It does
wait,
not.
Does it have defog? I don't know. Okay, I'm looking at because I'm building for a different thing while we're doing this.
Gotcha.
Okay. But Talonflame should have defog.
It does.
We got defog and we got rapid spin. Okay, you got the core two things. And then you got Necrozma for setup. Wellspring got SD. Volcarona with Quiver. And pretty versatile team.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
got plenty of breakers. And also, it's all condensed. You don't have a couple of like 3-pointers that you're never going to bring.
Yeah, it's pretty well condensed. I'd say this is probably like. I think this is more of a B, honestly.
Oh, you do?
Mm.
I was going to say this is above my team.
I just feel like the Talonflame is a little passive there.
But I mean...
That would be like top of A, though, if we put it above your team.
Yeah, we are throwing too many teams into A. But I do like this team more than mine, so maybe demote me to B and throw this guy up there.
So we throw. Oh, you're top
Because
of
Wellspring-
A currently, though. Like, does that mean we throw everything else down?
No. Okay, throw him in B. Throw him in B jail. But just know, Sylve, I'm rooting for you. I know Wellspring got this. Wellspring is the better Terror user.
Alright, I think I'm going to actually call this once we are through with speed. And I'm going to need to do a part 2 tomorrow. Okay. Because it is getting late, and I'm getting tired.
Don't worry, we'll speed through this one.
Alright, JK. Got Great Tusk, best removal in generation. You got Thunder T, Iron Boulder, Empoleon, and Amorous Therian. I think the two Terra Captains complement each other really well. I think
Mhm.
that I do think that Sinistra is a little passive without a setup boost. I've been mocking with a friend a lot recently, not necessarily for this matchup specifically, because we play in week 2, but just for just in general. Oh my gosh, Sil. Oh my gosh.
What happened?
Check general.
General, what'd they do? Keep one eye open tonight.
Back, bro.
Sylph is so right though. Sylph deserved higher. I would have sacrificed myself to do it because that team is great.
Okay, fine. I'll put it. I'll put it higher.
Actually, you know what? Can we just throw all the speed teams in A?
No.
Screw it. Who needs different tiers?
Uh, but JK's team, I do really like it. I think it's mostly, I think I don't like Monkey Dory, but like that's just a personal thing. Monkey Dory feels a little off.
Yeah, I don't like the bottom 3 or bottom 4. I will say though, JK did win their first match, so respect.
Indeed.
And it was because of low
But they're
kicks,
not
which
gonna
is
win their
even
second.
cooler.
But don't worry, they're not gonna win their second.
Okay.
And I'm gonna make a Myra regret dropping me in fantasy.
I mean, they got removal. It does feel a bit offensive heavy for their fast mons. I wish there was a good fast special attacker that they had.
It's true. Well, Thunderous Therian is like base 101, so like
Yeah,
it's
but it's
fine.
non-Terra. It's non-Terra. It's so easy to.
It's fine. It's like okay. I'm gonna put this team.
It's
This
an
is a
okay one. Yeah,
might be a B team though.
Yeah, I'm not seeing. I'm seeing high B though.
Yeah, top of B probably.
And what was the other team that we threw in B?
Daniel.
Versus the 2. Out of the 2, I don't know which one would. I think Daniel might win that. I think Daniel is better. Because it's got hazards with Tinglu and a really good defogger.
Yeah, but there's a Terra Iron Boulder, and we all know how busted that
Yeah,
thing
but
is.
that's a fraud. That's a fraud. I've run it an entire season. It's no good. It's terrible.
It's not that bad.
Dude, it died
Bro,
to a pile of swine earthquake.
But it tops the kill leaderboards last season. Of like every division except Psycho Boost.
I mean,
And
I'm just gonna say
defense.
I did not lose to Terra Iron Boulder last season, so if y'all did,
Yes.
that's on you.
No, you're just better.
But
anyway, Scoot Hawk.
I think it's worse than Daniels.
Anyway, Scoot Hawk time.
Yep. Terapagos Torn T, love it. Torn T, quick recommendation: run Assault Vest if you ever fight Spectre. I love that play.
Yeah, Torn T is we've already kind of discussed a lot of these Pokemon before. Terra Comfy, I really love Comfy. It is like one of the better secondary Terra Captains on the board.
It did really good last season for me. The Giga Drain, Draining Kiss combo, and it still has knockoff and U-turn. Good.
Yeah, and then
I don't know why it gets knockoff, but it has it.
Once again, Iron Hands. Once again, Iron Hands is it's a 1-for-1, often 1-for-2 Pokemon.
Yeah, Iron Hands is classic. Well, unless you fight Clodsire. I've had that happen.
You just Earthquake it.
I know. You'll be surprised that shit lives. Because I would think I was running max defense, max HP at the time because I was fighting a Shifu team. so I didn't have the flexibility to run E. Well, I did run EQ, but not the attack modifiers to kill with EQ.
Skill issue, honestly.
But I like Terapagos, Iron Hands. You got
I
some
like
really good bulk on this team.
the
In fact,
walk
I would
again.
say
Another walking wake outside of Sun. This is the
yeah,
second
you
walking wake
don't.
I've seen that doesn't have Sun supporting it.
I mean, it has knockoff flip turn. It's a good water mine,
I don't think it's bulky
and
enough
the
to pull
speed
off
tier.
those rolls.
And if he fights the Sun team, he has an advantage. Home turf.
I don't know how I feel about it.
What do you mean he doesn't have home turf advantage? That person has 2 dragon types and they're bringing Sun. But I like Terapagos as only because that's not a bad only removal,
It-
and the mons definitely make up for it. You got enough to what is it? Live almost every hit
Yeah,
that's sent your way.
I
So
think
honestly, I would put this. I might just be a bit biased because I love Torn T. This might be a S1, not higher than Fears, but
I could
I
see
like
it.
this. I think Torn T is worth it.
I could see it. I don't know that I agree with it fully, but I could definitely see it. Might need to bring my laptop to the place I'm going tomorrow, so I can
Oh,
like finish this. Because I'm leaving for vacation tomorrow. Sorry, not tomorrow. Day after.
I hope you have a great vacation then.
And then I'm gonna have to be scheduling with the Japanese on vacation. So
Oh, JK, yeah. Oh my goodness, I hated scheduling with him last season.
I mean, he's Japanese. He's in Japan, so there's not much we can do
Yeah,
about it.
I know. Okay. Yeah, I didn't send him to Japan. You know what? I don't like scheduling with anyone that is not EST.
Oh, so you won't like scheduling with me then, because I'm an hour behind.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, it's fine. There's a balance. But yeah, I think we just throw this one S tier. Bottom
Okay.
though.
All right. Hamish up next. Speaking of Spectrier, I don't like Spectrier in draft
Spectre.
personally. I had the option to pick it round 1 last season, and I did not because I think Spectrier is a one-trick pony. Pun intended.
I don't know. It lives a lot of stuff, and you can run agility sets. Oh, last season, actually, I ran Haze specs. It was hilarious. So you know what? I mean, I like that it fits a speed tier. This guy actually has 2 really fast mons, so
I
that's cool.
I love his 2 Terra Captain combinations personally. I know my friend Dashing is addicted to Terra Quack. But
Mm.
Terra Deancy is also pretty good.
And they do have removal, 2 rapid spin options, 1 defogger.
Quack has
The
decent
only really good
removal.
one is Quaquaval.
Yeah. Wait, where's the defogger? Nothing gets defog on this team.
Noctowl.
Oh,
Noctowl.
it's just Noctowl.
Just Noctowl.
Weezing is also
But
interesting.
Latios does get flip turn, so we love pivoting.
Oh, I love pivoting.
It's also
Quack also gets
we
U-turn
love pivoting.
and flip turn.
Yeah, you can actually just keep flip turning between the 2 of them.
Assuming there's no water type on the other side, like water absorb.
Oh, that would be terrible. Deancy is nice. I think you're always going to prefer Terraquaquaval.
Yeah.
Gastro, Wheezing. Wheezing's a good Sneasler. Check. Gastro. Yeah, it's okay. It's not bad. A lot of mons have grass coverage nowadays, though, so probably gonna be wanting to run the Rindo berries.
Or Floatstone. For
It does seem like a lot of your stuff, like the top 4, I think are good offensively. The rest of the team is not going to be making much of an impact.
Bro, Iron Defense Body Press Deancy. Bro, Deancy
Again,
is
not much
like
of an
going to make a
impact.
lot of an impact, trust me. I'm going to call it
I'll have to see it.
Oh, you will see it, good sir.
Well, did Hamish fight already?
Uh,
If they won their first game?
Maybe. I don't remember.
No, I haven't seen it. No, they didn't play it. But I like a Quaffle. And Deante is cool, but I don't know how much it does offensively.
It does a surprising amount. It does more than you would expect, especially with Terra.
So who did we throw in B again? We threw Daniel and
I think-
crew.
I think we put him in B tier, yeah.
I think this is in between Daniel and whoever the other person is.
JK?
JK, yeah.
Alright. Alright, next up we got Axel.
This next team is very messy.
We got Axel.
Yeah, Axel Raid.
First off, that is a Garchomp, Iron Bundle, Jirachi, Ogerpon, Screamtail, Overquill, Moltres, Hitmon, Fraud, Quagsire, Vullaby, and Luxray.
It's such a messy team. Oh, I hate looking at it.
Why?
I mean, you got great picks in there, but
does,
so disoriented.
does everything look in a wrong order or something?
I don't know. They seem like such weird picks next to each other. Nothing looks like it synergizes.
I think the mons themselves are pretty great. I will say, I think Screamtail and Jirachi provide a lot of, like, the same support, in all honesty. It's just one is, Ironhead, Flinch, Nightmare, Rage-Inducing Machine, and the other is a Encore Thunderwave, Sleep and Nightmare-Inducing Rage Machine.
Yeah, and I do like the two psychic types for fighting. Not necessarily resist, because Jirachi isn't one, but I guess just taking fighting attacks.
I will say, I don't like the Hitmontop as the removal. I don't like Hitmontop in Gen 9 after, the, after the recent Chen Pao shenanigans.
Does Vullaby have removal?
It has
no idea, but I don't
Defog.
know why you would bring it. Yeah, that just feels like it was a last minute gambit. I think it would have been better off just saying, okay, you know what? I don't have great removal. Let me use these 2 points to bump up another one of my mons.
Yeah. Because, like, I don't think you need Quagsire on this team. Also, you just stole away one of the good
Quagsire.
targets for Iron Bundle's Freeze Dry.
Yeah. I mean, I can see wanting a bulky water type, especially with Chi running rampant.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you have ways around that. Like a bulky Garchomp set or something.
I really like this team. I really like this team. I would probably put it in, like...
I have no fondness towards it, but it's not bad.
I will say, no removal with Ogerpon Cornerstone is a little... Sorry, removal is Hitmontop and Vullaby with Ogerpon Cornerstone is a little awkward.
Yeah,
sorry.
because Cornerstone
the point of
relies
my
on its sturdy.
Reaching the point in the stream where I am being, where I'm repeatedly coughing.
Oh, it's no problem.
I'm
not too much of a fan of this team, but if you think it's good...
Honestly, though, high B.
High B, yeah. I don't think it breaks the threshold.
But I would not be surprised to see the team doing well, though. To be clear.
Oh yeah, it's got plenty of options, but I just don't see the synergy.
Alright, up next is Fury. Alright, we got Urshifu Single Strike, but he didn't Terra it. We got Kilowattrel, but he Terra'd Kilowattrel Hydrapple when he could have Terra'd like Kilowattrel Urshifu or Hydrapple Urshifu.
Nah, this is real. This is a real moment. We love to see it. Honestly, I wanted to try Hydrapple at some point. I hope it goes well for him.
Yeah, Lycanroc Dust
I
is
don't
an
think
excellent
Shifu
breaker.
really needs.
He's got a lot of like Pokemon that will break that are good fit. He's got a lot of good physical breakers, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Like between Lycanroc Dusk, Excalibur, and Urshifu Single Strike.
I will say though, if Shifu does not work out, just drop Sandaconda and put the 3 points into Shifu. Maybe get rid of Vigoroth too, and then get a 2-point round or something.
Yeah, probably.
Actually, do you even need it? You have Kilowattrel. Kilowattrel has Voltazord, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think you necessarily need a ground in this scenario. It's only 3 more points for Shifu, but I do like the prospect of Bolt Beam Kilowattrel slash bulky regen Hydrapple.
Now, I don't love Fortress as removal in general,
Yeah, it's okay. It sets up hazards. It does have enough
but it's
moves to try to
very
hit everything.
not well. If it spins, it can't really fit hazards, and if it hazards, it can't really fit spin and all the
It
coverage
does
at
have Pain
once.
Split, I think. I have to double check if it has Pain Split ever get.
My guy Oro tried to
Yeah, it does have Pain Split.
my Mox guy Oro tried to cook me with a Steel Beam one, and I'm like, brother,
Yeah, I think you always go Gyro Ball on it. Most things are faster.
yeah. Like, I
That
get it,
or
but
what was another one I ran? I think I tried to run Earth Power or something.
Hmm.
It's a decent one. I don't mind it.
I think, though, this team is probably, like, B.
I do like
Maybe
because you
C.
are baiting the fire moves for Baxcalibur.
This might be a C team, honestly.
Which I don't know.
Like, comparatively speaking to all the others.
Compared to Axel, I definitely prefer this team. Although I will say the speed tiers are not there.
Yeah, the
So,
speed tiers
throw 'em in
are
C. Throw 'em
definitely.
in C jail. Get him out of here. I don't want to see this team anymore.
Also, I beat it, so therefore bad.
Oh, did you beat it? How well did you do? Did you get a 6-0 or no?
2-0.
Okay.
Would have
Efron,
been much more.
terrible, bad. Nah. I heard enough. I think
It
you
would
were
have been a
through.
lot more, okay, than
How is an A tier team losing to a C tier team or winning against a C tier team with only 2 differential? I can't believe this.
Fury's a good player, but
Yeah, Fury is a good player.
alright, moving
Alright,
on.
Raging Bull team, Meowscarada.
Moving on, we got everyone's favorite old defense mod, Shandy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, aside from
Now
JK.
I like this team. This team is straight into the point. No extra points for random mons. Dashbun, I'm not sure why it's 3 points, but you know what? It's worth it.
Yeah, it's got some decent stats.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like all things considered, it's pretty great value for that. You got Mesprit as well, which is honestly great. It's very versatile.
Looking at hazard removal, you got Toys, but Toys is good enough.
Yeah,
It's a good spinner,
Raging Bolt is
especially
great.
since you can
I
flip
do
turn
think
on.
you do kind of want to see a Wish Passer on here if you can to pair with the Raging Bolt and the Metagross and the Conch.
Oh,
Oh
were we
wait,
supposed to be
Doxbuzz right
looking for
there.
Wish Passers?
Oh wait, Dashbun's right there.
I just sort of threw Wish Passing out of my mind after Gen 8.
I mean, Wish.
I don't think you ever get a chance in Gen 9 to do Wish Passing anymore.
I mean, you do. I just think this team in particular would benefit from it.
Everything dies in 2 turns.
Nah.
You were just complaining that there's not enough turns earlier to Swords Dance. What are you talking about?
I was talking about I was talking about it in the Urshifu matchup specifically.
Alright, whatever.
I just said it's hard to get a free turn to Swords Dance. I didn't say anything about that. Anyway.
I mean, Raging Bolt.
I don't like
cool.
Terraconch. Like, I think Conch is there's a reason it's falling further and further down the tiering rung in every league.
I mean, they only had 9 points left to Terra, and if Conch was same point total or even just a little bit more, I think it's good enough. Oh, I'm wrong. They do have more than one removal. Conch still has Defog. I'm so dumb.
Why does Conkeldurr get defog though? Like, I don't get it.
Because it's funny. He blows on his little clown nose and then it defogs.
I'm getting too tired
Honk,
for
honk.
this.
I like this team. I think this is bottom A.
Bottom A, okay.
Why? What do you think it is?
D tier bad mod. I'm kidding.
Oh my goodness, Shandy, ban him.
I'm kidding.
Who did
Mostly.
we throw in? We threw Sylv.
I threw Sylv up
Comparatively
in A.
speaking, out of the two teams, I think Sylv
I put it above
is...
yours, which is
Oh,
above
okay, yeah.
mine,
Honestly,
and
fair.
I put it top of A.
Because it's got Metagross, that's why. Metagross wins.
Well, I put Shandy in bottom A.
Oh, Shandy's bottom of A. And then, oh, you threw Sylv up there. Okay, that makes sense. I was going to say Shandy versus Sylv. I was going to prefer... Yeah, I think I still do prefer Sylv's teams just because the setup options are there.
Because, like you said, it's
Sylv is
better
going
than
to be
your
so
team, and your
hard to
team is,
prep
like,
for.
currently top of A.
Hmm.
Do you not like that?
No. I totally agree with it. Wellspring is good. Is good.
Alright, next up we got JT.
This is a team. I mean, you got Annihilate Terra. Okay, cool. Chi-Yu, I would have preferred Terra Chi-Yu. I think out of the two, Terra
Nah.
Chi-Yu is better.
Nah. Terrachiyu is just a
Nah,
nuke.
nah.
Annihilate actually has, like, a lot more... It's harder to prep
Depth,
for.
a lot more lore. Okay, yeah, I could care less about that because I don't think anything's going to give you enough turns to
Oh,
get
Annihilate is
Rage Fist
bulky
to
enough.
300.
Also, you have a Terra. Like, the difference between Blaziken and Annihilate is staggering. Blaziken
What are
is
we
very
looking at
frail, so that means it's a lot harder to get a free turn when you're a frailer Pokemon. Annihilate is not a frail Pokemon. It is actually pretty bulky. So if you give that thing Terra, it most likely is going to get a free turn. Does that, like, make sense?
No. From all my experience, I have not seen it perform well.
I have.
Okay, what person or what team? Moreover,
I've just seen it perform.
it's
I
a
just said I've seen it perform well.
it needs specific support, and this team definitely doesn't have it. I think Chi-Yu, the nuke, is always acceptable.
I'd rather Terra Annihilate than Chi-Yu every day of the week, honestly.
Gen 9 is all about hyper offense.
Not necessarily, but we're agree to disagree. I put this B though personally.
I was gonna say C.
C,
Yeah, it's not that great.
bro. I
Just looking at
how
the
bottom
bottom
B.
mons, it's bottom B. Okay, that's acceptable, but I
Do you think
don't
it's
think the
worse than
bottom mons are
Fury's?
doing much. Worse than Theories? Yeah, definitely. I think Kilowattrel is great as a terror cap.
I'm not denying that. I just think you're underestimating Annihilate, and that thing is going to sweep you.
Sweet me, I have an Iron Valiant and Latios.
Meet Terra Poison Annihilate. Sorry, meet Terra Fire Annihilate.
Okay, we're not going to do the imaginary battle thing, but I don't like Annihilate. I don't think it does well.
Damn. Bad Vatrena out here with the fighting words. Alright, next up, Isaac.
I mean, look, it can try to do something when it gets past 100 speed.
Alright, next up, Isaac.
That's a cool team.
Like,
I enjoy it.
he's got one of the better teams out there. He 6-0'd his week 1.
That was a skill issue on their part. Who was his week 1?
The next team.
The next team. Oh no. Okay, well.
And they thought they had a mouse hold, and they didn't, so they tried to bring it. They prepped thinking they had a mouse hold.
Oh my goodness. I like Pekarant. That's always fun. And Am Incarnate, I haven't played against it
Petarant is
enough
like
to know
one of the
whether it's
better
good.
spin blockers right now, I think. In
Mm.
Paldea Dex.
Cyclizar for removal is okay because it does have
It's one of the
niche.
better removal option. It's like the best budget removal option.
Yeah, I honestly like Assault Vest Cyclizar as a response to
Also,
what is it?
we were
Shiyu.
talking earlier about the water bubble calcs from the defense team. This is Terra water. This is like Terra water bubble calcs. They're gonna get even
He is
crazier.
big and take Oko things with it.
Yeah.
Not only that, he can do it defensively, so he can turn into a grass type and just be neutral against fire.
Yeah. Well, he's already he resists fire currently.
Yeah, he resists fire currently, but he can be neutral against it.
Yeah. I will, and the no burn is always nice.
Hmm. They have enough hazard removal / hazard just shifting
Again, we see the
options.
Iron Crown
It's cool.
outside of Psy Spam, which is
That's
intriguing.
not bad. I don't think so because it's just a bulky mon. Steel Psychic ain't that bad for typing. It does have Volt Switch, right?
Yeah, but
As long as it has pivoting, I'm okay with it.
I mean, this whole team kind of pivots, and then Sableye
Yeah.
hyper offense seems to be.
I can't believe he got away with a widescreen reflect. Oh my goodness, what a goat.
I think this team is solid. This might be an S tier.
Yeah, I think so too. Who else did we throw in S? We know that we threw
Fierce Flamethrower
I
and
don't think
Scoot
it's better
Hawk.
than Fierce. And Scoot. That's hard. I think it's better than Scoots.
Oh, okay. Then there shall go. Lastly, last one of the night. I'm gonna probably do a part 2 tomorrow if I have time. Probably when I get to my grandmother's before bed. But you still there?
Alright. Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
I was waiting for you to introduce the person.
We got Potato Z.
Potatoes. Alright. I mean, they lost 6-0 week 1. Can we just wrap it up here? Throw them in F tier? No, I'm kidding. Alright. Golden Doterra, I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know how you use it because I haven't used it much myself.
Yeah.
Komodo Terra is pretty fun though, right?
Yeah. It is. It's definitely fun. It's gonna cause a lot of mirror herbs to come his way, I think.
And this person is okay with hazards because I think Oreo Choreo has defog.
Oh,
You
they
got
just dropped
Hatterene
it.
Magic Bounce. They just dropped it? My goodness.
Because they were supposed to
Okay,
have the mouse
whatever.
hold, and also he dropped it in the Wigglytuff that there were 2 of in speed.
Yeah.
That's
Tentacruel.
that's still very funny.
Tentacle Hatterene does well enough. Gliscor, I don't know how to feel about this generation. I mean, it's
I used it
bulky,
recently and
cool.
I loved it. I even ran Scarf once.
It's so hard without Roost though.
It's actually not that hard. It has it has all the longevity it needs.
I can't believe they got rid of both Roost and Defog for it.
It's still good without it. It just plays differently than it did before. It's still plenty good.
Yeah, it's basically Tinglu now, but flying.
Like no, Tinglu's a momentum sap. Gliscor can pivot.
I said basically, not exactly.
This whole
They're
team looks
both
like it can
bulky
kind of
spike
pivot.
setters.
And Hisuian Arcanine, once again, is like a solid hit breaker. Because, like, nothing wants to take a head smash or a flare blitz, barring, like, a Great Tusk.
Or Hisuian Goldfish.
Yeah.
Or Wheezing. Wheezing is hilarious. The, what is it? Neutralizing gas. Yeah, kill me. You're gonna
He doesn't
lose
have a
half your
Wheezing.
HP. No, opposing teams, when they're fighting.
Oh. Oh,
That versus
gotcha.
Wheezing or, Quillfish.
Yeah, it still gets 2 shots. But,
They
Uh,
have speed tier, which is
I
nice.
do
I
not
think
like
this is
Darkrai. I'm quite confident that thing is a fraud. I did not, to be fair, I did not watch many of Malcolm's SDL games.
It sucks that it doesn't have pivoting, but
It's pure Dark type and it lost Thunderbolt. Its electric coverage is Thunder.
I mean, it still has electric coverage. Just hit. Come on.
That is the same odds as Focus Blast, good sir.
I said just hit.
No. D tier. I'm kidding.
D tier, no.
I think this is like I still think this is like one of the bottom tier teams though.
Who did we throw in C tier?
Fury.
Fury? I think this one's worse than Fury's.
All
I
right.
still can't believe Fury's in C tier. My goodness.
There's
I
just
like
a
that
lot of
team.
better. Like this is okay. This is ranking comparatively for the most part. I'm not saying that your drafts are like C tier level. Like most of these drafts are like B
No,
tier
he is
at
saying that your
least.
drafts are terrible. In fact, you guys should just quit and retire.
That is
Or,
not what I am saying. Don't twist my words, sir. But all right, that is speed and defense all done. I am going to need to do attack and psycho boost tomorrow, but
Yeah, have fun with that.
I'm probably gonna do that one on my own because I can, and then things are, so that way I can move things along a little faster.
Hey, are you saying I slowed you down?
I mean,
I
I
probably did.
got through 4 divisions in like 3.5 hours last time.
But it was fun joining this.
It was. This was definitely fun to do. Like, I would unironically do this another season if I could. Like, I would do this another season if I have, assuming I have time next season. I might do them again. But
Well, I mean, I think it's time to head out, ain't it?
it is indeed time to head out.
Have a good night.
All right. All right. That is going to be all for today's live stream. Thank you guys so much for joining me for the live power rankings of WPF Defense 4. And thank you once again for joining me. If you enjoy, then of course leave a like and subscribe. But I haven't said that in a while. But I'll see. Until next time, everybody. Lancer Communard off Sector 2814 signing off. Peace. Bye. Now let me click the end stream button.